Welcome back, Paladins fans, to the Masters LAN for your last set of the day. Welcoming me back, Pretty Hair here, to cast my final set with my man Shift. We just saw an electric set between Cube Team and Eager. Looking a little scary there for Eager for a second.
And you know, a lot of this comes down to as well, Cube Team looked pretty good.
Yeah,
I mean, especially on Frog Isle, they really put the pressure on, and that's what we like to see out of teams that we don't know much about, is to get their play style going and using the buck too. I mean, we didn't think we were going to see it, but some spicy plays from the boys.
Absolutely. Not only the spicy thing here today, we got the Burrito Shaolin bundle in game. You can see it comes with the sunglasses, comes with the burrito t-shirt, as well as the MVP pose, the MVP of HRX 2017. Bonka, the man himself, who had the stellar Game 7 performance with the character, earning this bad boy in game. Go ahead and pick that one up. But our last set of the day, guys, Kanga versus Team Eager. It's going to be interesting. I was sitting with Kanga during the Cube Eager game set, just right before this one. And frankly, this kind of happens in international play, where they just don't agree with each other's drafts or play styles. They make fun of each other's drafts, but at the end of the day, it's interesting to see, you know, it just whoever comes out and executes better.
Yeah, and it's really interesting to see the preferences. I mean, Team Eager going into this was sitting here saying, oh, we don't really want to prioritize Bomb King as much. We even saw them in their earlier matchup give it up. Exactly. So I have a feeling that things have very drastically changed for a lot of people's mentality as we're starting to see top-level plays come out from particular characters. And as we take a look, again, this is a rematch. Again, this is really the third taste that we've had in the last couple of months between Kanga and Team Eager. And, you know, with the scare against Cube Team, I still think there's a lot of questions about whether Team Eager can perform at the same level as Kanga, who just took District 69 to a best of 5.
Yeah, that's the craziest part. District 69 getting a little fancy with their picks. I think this is going to be a little bit more standard. We saw some incredible plays from Eager to kind of bring that one back, especially on Jaguar Falls. The Lex play from the man himself right there, stolzey. Not a lot of huge Lexecutes today, but he was able to pull off probably the biggest one of the day.
Oh, without a doubt. And it's really kind of just good to see stolzey, you know, later in the day really starting, I won't say to warm up, but to come to life. I mean, earlier on, he really didn't really have that much of an impact, and we didn't really call his name all that much for the kill feed, and finally getting some well-deserved recognition, I think, from one of NA's more popular players.
Even going so far as I would say he got destroyed by the Brazil team there on, you know, his home turf, the Androxus, with the Godslayer. That's like his champion with his coined legendary, that he was kind of the first one to bring that out in competitive, and he got a taste of his own medicine. But Bomb King has been the star of the day, and for Kanga Esports, that's been primarily the DiGeDoG player, but Kronicx as well. Notably, his Ruckus Jukes, where actually he took the aerial assault, and I'm just freaking out. The mobility he brings with one of the biggest, one of the clunkiest characters in the game.
One of my favorite things that I saw him do, and I hadn't even thought about this, was he would channel the aerial assault up and then over, and then channel Hexafire while he was falling.
On the way down,
It's just like, here, have one of these. Just the ultimate drop of just everything in your face at once. And again, the Kronicx has played a lot of Ruckus. We haven't seen much of him today, but the fact that they can bring in a character that really nobody else is using, I think adds to their kind of box of tricks.
And knowing when, box of tricks, that's a great thing to mention, because one thing that they were talking a lot about is how District 69, it's kind of easier to point out the maps that they're weak on, and just kind of maps that people stay away from as a whole. The Timber Mills, the Ice Mines, the Frozen Guards, there's things we don't see a lot of. They just practice. They get good at those, and then they bring them out. It's like, hey, these are just free wins sitting here. Like, we're not going to take these. I'm going to snag them.
Yeah, why not? And speaking of snagging things, Wi-Fi has had probably his best tournament to date.
Oh, my God.
I know for a fact, after, you know, kind of lurking it in the stream every now and again, he felt pretty bad about his performance at HRX, and he's been spending a lot more time working on frontline champions, and it's really showed today. His Makoa hooks have been absolutely lights out.
Yeah, part of that's LAN experience too, right?
Sure.
HRX, it's a big stage. There's a lot of strangers watching. Here at the studio, it's still on LAN. There's still a lot of people watching, but it's a little bit more of an intimate setting. A lot of it's just the other teams watching you, just kind of catcalling, making fun of you, you know, as you miss stuff. But I think the LAN nerfs hasn't been as much of an issue.
Yeah, without a doubt, and that's definitely one of the biggest strengths for Eager. But again, you know, the man Josh, he's got the hoodie zipped up this time, feeling maybe a little chilly. Oh, maybe not. Hello. And again,
it's getting hot in here.
All of a sudden, goodness.
Where's the brand? Oh God.
There. Oh my gosh. Yeah. No, joshkent. I mean, this is, you know, he's able to play Bomb King as well as DiGeDoG if there's a Drogos available. He's been able to play Grok. He's played Ying. He's played Maldamba. He plays a little bit of everything. And of course, we saw him most notably playing Eevee at HRX, and there's been a couple situations here today where Eevee's kind of shown her truth and so kind of shown the fact that she can be viable in the right situations, and that very well could be something we see him kind of bust the cobwebs off and see if he can bring the Eevee back out.
I was talking to Lazy a little bit, one of the kind of premier Eevee players of old. And frankly, when the wormhole changes came through, it was such a big jarring playstyle change for a lot of the older Eevees. They just kind of have stayed away from the character, whereas Bugsy, who has been kind of taken up the character now, he goes for the reprieve playstyle, which we haven't seen that very much of. And one thing Lazy attributed to that too is he didn't used to play Eevee, so he's not stuck in that playstyle. It's a very muscle memory, a very pattern-based character that you kind of got to get in a rhythm with, and he just doesn't have those old habits.
Yeah, without a doubt. And, you know, another person who has been able to pick up any character you throw at him is...
Can we just bask in this for a moment?
This guy.
Look at this legend.
We need some epic music being played behind him.
Goddamn US of A.
Just like ultimate Idaho right here. Is like, this is the representation of. I mean, Bitey he's been lights out. I hadn't expected his Drogos to be as well tuned as he's shown off today.
Right?
I mean, like, absolutely kind of shown himself as being a top tier Drogos player. Not something you would relate to, as he had played support. He had played damage dealers kind of on the ground, a lot of Victor, a lot of Tyra, and
I feel like that's the conversation I have every time I talk to him. Right? He's like, oh, I want to play it, but I just can't.
Right.
You know, that's kind of, he's been forced almost into the back seat and letting Shades and stolzey carry. But it's been awesome to see kind of the mid-tournament adjustment from Eager to be able to get the guy with a lot of the passion on the characters he's been wanting to play.
And the big thing, you know, as far as how Eager's really been able to identify themselves as a team on LAN, I mean, they had what I think most people would consider a disappointing showing at HRX, and now they're trying to fight their way back. They get another shot at Kanga again to prove that they can possibly get over this hump. And of course, after that scare versus Cube, you know, this is kind of a proving grounds for them. And, you know, another player who's been absolutely lights out has been Joelz. I mean, his Victor gameplay in particular, we saw him play earlier, was absolutely incredible. He's able to track, he's able to hit headshots left and right, and picking up any other damage dealer as well. I mean, we saw him, he was really the staple Grover player from HRX that people were like, holy smokes, Grover can do that much damage?
And the Kinessa pickup as well on the Timbermill today. He's just been, the aim is incredible from this player, and I think because of that, that's going to make Victor probably more of a factor in this set in particular, because we know that Eager, Bitey especially, stolzey can play it. He has been playing it today. Love this pickup, and so do Kanga. Kanga leaning on this heavily throughout their qualification process.
Yeah, it's really good to see, again, you know, Kanga coming back together with 4 of the 5. They were so strong at HRX with that lineup. They find another player who can really add into accelerating their ability to compete at the highest level. I mean, they had taken Burrito to a 5. They just took D69 to 5, and
look at the man, the babyface killer.
He's in it though. He's all up in that screen, just ready to go. And again, this sincerity that they bring to the table is really unmatched right now. I mean, they were underestimated going into HRX, and people kind of had weird expectations for them coming into today, and they've shown.
Yeah, Tyra, I think, is another interesting pickup for this series in particular. We know Bitey loves it, but Joelz, the man we just saw on screen, is another big factor. The tracking between those two players is absolutely nuts. We haven't seen stolzey play the Tyra, so I think it's going to be mostly contested between Joelz and Bitey, but the support play has been absolutely incredible today as well. Some seriously, you know, showcasing what those supports can do.
Yeah, and of course, Awry, pictured right here, is the premier support player for Eager, and we've seen a lot of other players on Kanga be able to take that role, and it really comes down to A, what the map is, and B, what the comp is. So we'll have to see what the maps look like.
So getting into things, it's going to be Frozen Guard. So interesting things about this map. Where do you think this one's going to lean just right off the bat? Who do you think is stronger on this one?
It's really tough, because as we take this little tour around the map, you see where that point is. Everything is very, very close, and it's all those arches and windows that get you that way. The payload path itself is really long, but also narrow. So long lines of sight, it really allows for bigger characters like Bomb King to really explode the map up completely just by the Grumpy Bomb being able to take up so much space.
Sure. Kinessa, another factor that we haven't seen on the map today, but
could be
traditionally very highly favored on this match. Going to be the Bomb King. First pick, however, for Kanga. Eager the chance to respond. I feel like, you know, Bomb King, the closer the teams are, the more important the first pick is to get the Bomb King. But the first team to kind of pivot and figure it out, how best to counter this character, how best to play around it, whether it's staying away from it, whether it's killing it, bursting it right away. The first team to figure that out and be the most effective with that strategy, I think, going to have a good shot at this tournament.
Without a doubt, their chances definitely go up. So in response, Makoa, again, the premier frontliner here as far as we've seen so far this weekend. Sha-Lin also usually in the top 5 picks very early on. And again, that's just such a dissuasion to going with that double frontline because Planted can absolutely blow through any kind of shield in his way.
Gotta have that burst damage to take down the King before he takes you out.
That's true.
Kanga with the chance to respond. Maldamba still on the table, but not any longer. So that's going to be locked away. Still having to take a front line. They're not going to take it just yet as the Makoa locked in for Eager. Gives them a little bit room, a little bit of time to just stave that off. But they've been relying heavily on the Grok as well throughout the day.
Throughout all the qualifiers, to be honest. I mean, the Oceania in particular was not a scene that used a lot of Grok outside of Kanga Esports. They almost picked him up for every single game they played. And this is an interesting draft, right? Because you take the Maldamba Grok, which means that Eager has to take Ying. And Grok does so well with Cauterize on board to deal with Ying. So it's going to be interesting to see how Eager responds. They opt to take that Ying and be, you know, pretty forward about what support they have to take to leave themselves that last overall pick. And for here, I mean, you have to be looking at a front line, and you would think another damage dealer.
Something to deal with this Drogos, whether it be Droxus, maybe even a Kinessa, but Team Eager, with the last pick available to them, will have the option to go for a flanker. Will be the victor. That's going to be a good decision. Joelz here, very effective on the character and very effective at dealing with Drogos, who's going to be one of the primary threats taking out this sort of point-heavy composition. Victor tends to stay close to his healers, relatively close to the point, wherever he's feeling the most safe.
Yeah, and of course on this map, he can find all those little different alleyways to kind of go in and out of and hide if he needs to, and find different paths to get different lines of sight onto the neutral capture point, let alone the payload path. And this is also really interesting between these two teams because Team Eager is a team that absolutely loathes having Barrick as a solo tank, while Kanga absolutely loves having Barrick as a solo tank. And we're actually going to get a shot to see Tyra once again out here. But the interesting thing here is, you know, Eager has verbally said that they prefer taking their Tyra with a Torvald to keep her alive and keep her, you know, moving with that extra speed from Protective Bubble. She's going to be by herself again, and if Bitey's going to be on it, I mean, again, I think this is going to be really interesting because he likes to get aggressive and hope that his team is right there with him.
They think it's a decent answer to the Bomb King, but one caveat that comes alongside that is that they rely on the Bomb King to have picked up the Wrecker, in fact, to burst down some of the shields as opposed to the Cauterize. We'll have to see how those play out. Will be Kanga versus Eager. Game number 1, Maelstrom Grok for joshkent. Gunnery for Joelz' Victor. Architectonics for Haydz' Barrack, notably Accelerant, DiGeDoG's Bomb King, and of course for Kronicx Maldamba, it will be the Ripened Gourd.
And for the side of Eager, ShadeeyShades will be playing Tyra. He'll be using First Blood. And for Awry on Ying, it'll be Lifelike with the double heal. Bitey will be playing the Drogos with Wormjets. Wi-Fi and Makoa with Half Shell, not Pluck this time. And stolzey will be playing Sha-Lin with Recurve.
So coming up on the point now, Wi-Fi taking point here, trying to get in there, drops the Half Shell, does connect on the hook, but it will break narrowly around the corner here. 1 minute into the round, still looking for the First Blood. stolzey finds a nice pop shot. First Blood, though, goes to Joelz.
And that's what we're going to be seeing a lot of. We saw him go absolutely ham on this map with the Victor previously. Looking for the same from downtown. Able to find that one. I can hear the NBA Jam announcer in my head. From downtown! Exactly. 24% already in control for Kanga. Looking for more, and Joelz is right up in this front line, putting all the damage down, Nick, and this is not good for Eager.
Immediately moving out to zone as well. On a 4 streak, falling back now to get healed up. 57%. I don't even know if they're going to need the zone, quite frankly. Eager looking very spread out for their take-back potential as well. Kanga now moving north of 80.
Talk about bold. Bitey trying to just go right through that Grumpy Bomb to get some action done, but DiGeDoG shutting it down very quickly and looking for more as he poppies his way to look for an aerial advantage on Ying. But in the meantime, everything going Kanga's way so far. They go up 1-0, even underneath the 2-minute mark thus far.
2 minutes to push this one in. Shady does find the answer onto joshkent. 711 credits already for Joelz, so he will be able to pick up that Cauterize too when he goes back to base. And picking up this First Blood, this Life Rip style sustain build for Tyra into 3 Cauterizes for Kanga Esports, it's going to be pretty tough.
Without a doubt, and it's really going to come down to what can the Tyra find as far as opportunities. First of all, she out-dueled Joelz, and at the moment, at distance, Joelz has the advantage because, again, he can sit there and just hold down right-click and left-click together, while Tyra's going to have to burst a little bit more to make sure that those hits actually connect.
Minute 48 remaining on the payload push. Kanga about 70% of the way. Here comes the barrage from Joelz. He's looking for it. He's going to find a couple of hits there. ShadeeyShades will go down. stolzey answers onto DiGeDoG. Bitey finding joshkent. Joelz takes down the support for Eager. Awry back to base. stolzey with another kill onto Haydz. It's just Joelz here looking for it now. Falling back. Kronicx on his Maldamba. able to escape with his life as well.
That's a really smart retreat, to be completely honest. You lost your frontliner. There's really no chance of you establishing yourself around the payload, even if you get to it. So why not take a step back, get yourself at full HP and give it another go. You got plenty of time to do it. I like it a lot.
Notable ultimates coming up here as well. Minute 12 remaining. All of 5 members of Kanga are now back ready for it, but a big fire spit hits 4 around the corner. DiGeDoG finds first blood in the engagement. On to ShadeeyShades. Tyra Joelz ripping forward, finding a lot of damage. Nice half shell to cancel out the grenade. Another big fire spit. The sustain is here. DiGeDoG coming ripping around the corner, and the King Bomb will find Awry.
That's absolutely huge and actually disables Makoa for a while. You see through the shade, he had to actually move and use his shell spin to get back. The Grumpy Bomb able to find more. Double kill for DiGeDoG. Crossfire is being activated, but Diggy's not afraid of it whatsoever and jumps in and is able to help Joelz secure that kill. And this is why this map is so dangerous. Not able to get anyone there, but still, that would have been really, really bad to jump out of that spawn.
Kanga Esports with the 2-0, and that is a good snowball tempo. One thing we saw earlier on some of the Frog Isle snowballs, it was actually Carbon 6 guys that pointed this out to me. If it's too fast, then you really don't get enough credits to push that advantage because you can't get the tier 2s of your items, but that is not the case here as Kanga Esports start to pick up their tier 2s.
Yeah, thank you kill streaks for that, and of course the bonus 300 for getting to the neutral capture point just in general. It will allow that extra little boost of coin in your pocket. So you can see the itemization on screen. There is a master riding on board so far for Haydz, so that's going to provide a little bit of an extra advantage as far as when they get to point for Kanga. But on top of that, cauterizes 3 of them at level 2. That's going to do a really good job of mitigating out Ying early on in this mid game.
Playing into ShadeeyShades life rip. He's gone for the 40% lifesteal, just trying to box out, stay alive as best he can. 2-0 for Kanga, clashing on the point now. Wi-Fi gonna land the hook. Joelz is the first to fall in this engagement. Big Dread Serpent up onto the high ground, but Bitey charges up the Dragon Punch. He's looking for something. He's gonna call it off. He's gonna retain 30% of his charge and escape without the kill.
That's a really tough decision, right? Because you want to be able to scare people away.
It's smart.
It's very smart. You know, it really, yeah, it hurts to not have that hit, but at the same point, you did your job of getting everyone back away, and you can see his team is able to push the aggression right behind him. They get 4 of the 5, make that now all 5, so a delayed team wipe as Team Eager able to find their way and get themselves onto this point.
So with a wise decision here, 74% and climbing for Team Eager. So we're going to take a quick break here. You can see Wi-Fi focus very close to capitalizing on this push. Eager down 2-0 right now. They are trying to hang on. Kanga Esports able to convert on that one, and just talk a little bit about what that does to a team's momentum.
It's monumental when it comes down to it. I mean, Eager's really trying to find their way into this, into this match. 2-0. I mean, it's really tough to battle back in that situation. Down credits, down itemization, but you find an opportunity. Yeah, and without the Bomb King, that's absolutely huge. But you're able to push the advantage just by numbers alone to get your team in there and just really claw and grit your way back into it. It really says a lot for Team Eager, for sure.
But Eager don't look like they're tilted or frustrated in any way. We talked a lot about that Dragon Punch. It kind of says a lot for their mentality. If you're frustrated, you might just try to go get it, get after it. But Bitey wisely called it off about halfway through. He realized he was going to be too exposed, and he may not have even got the kill. And Eager did come away with that. I really like that type of decision making.
Yeah, it's really big. Not only because we saw this happen a couple different times. joshkent did it earlier with Bomb King, where he didn't see an opportunity where he could absolutely use it to get the kills. So he blows it up early. He backs up. He gets his health back up, and then jumps right back in to get damage done. Being alive and getting extra damage to a full team is usually always better than just taking out the one and trading your life.
Absolutely. So if you are just joining us, we are in a quick technical pause between Eager and Kanga Esports. This match will decide the second seed graduating out of the group stages into that semifinals bracket for that Sunday. We will have another day play similar to this day with the double elimination group coming tomorrow, but this is looking like it's going to be a close set. Eager did already play Kanga Esports earlier in the day, but pretty convincingly, I think we saw Kanga Esports take that one. Just a difference in play style, and it's one thing we talked about. What is the strength of Oceania's scene?
Yeah, it was questionable, right? I mean, after Kanga had came through and they got into the Masters.
Have they been pushed?
Yeah, and that was the question, was who else is going to compete with them? Even after HRX, the only real opponent at that point in time was Avant-Garde. Yeah. And they continued to be the number 2 in Oceania throughout the entire series, and there were a couple close games where the maps went 4-3, 4-3. I mean, the fact of the matter is, this is the first time Kanga has lost a map since HRX is at LAN, and they were flawless in their own region, and they continue to show that it's not just you know, the scene not being as advanced as maybe some of like the European teams that are in middle of the road or the North American, they have found a way to continue to advance their game, to continue to escalate and to continue to push the envelope to where they can come to this LAN environment and not really be at too much of a disadvantage from not having the same level of competition.
Yeah, the difference this time around is people are starting to scrim them. People have now respected them after what they did at HRX. Completely different story back in January when I was talking to them, trying to get to know them. They were just like, yeah, no one's scrimming us. No one wants to play us. We don't think we have anything to offer.
Yeah, and it was that's a brilliant accent, by the way.
Thanks, dog.
It was funny, you know, watching them pre their matches at HRX. They were trying to find people in their hotel room.
Anyone.
Yeah, they had played Zenesi at the time a bunch, and they got some good practice there. And that was one of the true times that it was like, okay, this team is competing with a team at the time that was clearly the number 3 in North America, and then to come out and beat Eager the first time, and now having done it again and looking for a third straight, that really establishes them as being far and above, you know, where the rest of North America lies, at least. And again, being able to compete with Burrito at the time at HRX and now D69, their hat is definitely in the ring for being a top 3 team in the world.
Absolutely. The questions with this team no longer really associated with them. The strength of the scene is kind of still there, but they're obviously getting a lot of practice. They've been scrimming a lot while they've been here. It's been very interesting to see their games evolve, their drafts evolve, especially during their Carbon 6 scrims that I got to kind of sit in on and just kind of, we watch quietly from the corner and we just kind of take our notes and do our thing. But it's weird to see, like, you know, Carbon 6 have those moments of frustration against Kanga.
Oh, for sure. And I think we saw the same thing versus D69.
Because we're sitting here being like, all right, what does Kanga do under pressure? Who can push them? You know, is Avant really pushing them to their limits? And then we get them to see him scrim against Carbon 6, and we see some frustrating moments from, you know, the European reigning champions. We're like, oh boy, they have not stepped off the gas one bit.
Yeah, we're in for a real treat this weekend, for sure.
I'm excited.
And, you know, it was really interesting sitting and just kind of knowing the demographic and the format of the tournament, that D69 Kanga matchup, either team would have had another shot. So do you really go full out? And I think the answer by Game 3, Game 4, Game 5 was yes. They're going full out in these matchups. And I think you learn a lot from that as both teams. And, of course, the entire competitive scene in general, whoever's watching at home or the other teams that are watching in the arena, they're sitting there going, hey, this is what they're going to do. And that's really cool to see, you know, how teams will adapt in the future down the road in this tournament especially.
It's the benefit of playing first. It could be a pro, could be a con, you know, because they get to take the final notes tomorrow, you know, because Burrito or Carbon 6 are going to go home tonight. They're going to kind of try to work this into their strategy. You know, they are playing with a sub this time around, a sub who kind of fills a little bit of a different role. It'll be interesting to see how they fit him in. But the LAN meta definitely kind of, it establishes itself on day one, and then it's just a race to adapt. Who can bait it out quickly? It looks like Bomb King is going to sit on the throne for the majority of this event, but we'll have to see who can outplay it the fastest.
Yeah, and as we jump back into game, we'll see if the damage can continue to come out of that Bomb King itself. 2-1, and again, you can take a look to see that you saw Wi-Fi's health just being absolutely chipped down. So it was a capture for Eager, and they're in the middle of this push. With a minute 30, they're in a pretty good spot, and looking for a hook right now is Wi-Fi. But again, Joelz, you can see him in the kill feed showing up twice, able to continue to find the damage into the back line.
Just struggling for these hooks right now. Wi-Fi trying to do what he can. Haydz finds another one. ShadeeyShades will go down. Wi-Fi all by himself here. Maybe try to backdoor this one. No, but Haydz is going to get on top of it. Wi-Fi was likely to fall here. He's going to shell spin out, but just be taken out and frankly be a little bit staggered from the rest of his team. Still plenty of time left, though, with over a minute remaining. Yeah,
the big thing here for Eager is they need to get themselves centralized. They're gonna be facing a little bit of an aggressive front here simply because they have the mobility, does Kanga, and of course the sustain built into their comp by having the Maltamba and the Grok. There's a lot of healing there. So we'll see exactly how this approach tends to go. Again, there's a lot of explosion built into Eager with the Drogas, but he needs to find areas to get up into the air.
So a lot of ultimates available for Kanga as well. 40 seconds remaining here on this payload push. Eager looking for their angle. Kanga looking to hold. Here comes a long distance planet. Joel's going to be healed up a fair bit from these Ying clones. Illusory Rift has been popped. Bitey gets taken out of the air. Beautiful tracking from Joelz.
That's the same key, and then going in for more as he gets himself a triple as he finds a lot of damage dropping down from the skies of his own with the barrage. And now with just the Ying left alive, she's trying to dodge, but Awry cannot make it happen. So the defense looks like it very could be successful. 10 seconds left as the PA behind us will start to count down the seconds. But still, I don't see Eager finding a way to get back to this payload in time.
5 seconds remaining here. A couple members just looking for maybe a streak shutdown, some more credits, maybe some more, sir. Nice. Couple of kills coming through at the last second for Eager, building that last second ultimate charge. getting, you know, every rocket counts with Drogoz for sure. You can see him rocking himself up from around 60% to now 84% on his ult charge.
Yeah, and that's really big. Drogoz is by far, even still, one of the biggest characters to build ult charge, just simply because of the area damage that comes with fire spits as well as salvos. And looking at the itemization in those last kills, they do mean something when it comes to credits. You can see Wi-Fi only has 30 credits left, so those last couple of kills may have gotten him that level 2 resilience that we're seeing him rock.
And Joelz now going in the life rips. Those luxury items starting to come through the healing. Options 3-1 for Kanga Esports with that hold. They certainly have the ultimate advantage heading into this point fight. It's all about driving this one home.
Yeah, and Kanga has done a very good job of controlling space, I think is the biggest way to kind of phrase it when it comes to how do they control the outside versus the inside part of this map. And you can see Bomb King going for the right side respectively while Joel sits on the inside and just continues to put down damage. ShadeeyShades is the first to find blood though, and Crossfire you can hear is in the background. But we have the Dread Serpent right on top of the point, but the half shell able to cancel a lot of the damage out.
Trying to find a beautiful tracking through the Dragon Punch. Joelz shuts down Bitey. ShadeeyShades all the way with 2. ShadeeyShades with a 3rd, looking for his 4th. Wi-Fi will confirm that kill. Eager back in the driver's seat, 42% and climbing. ShadeeyShades now out to zone.
Yeah, and this is going to be really interesting to see how DiGeDoG decides to play this. There's going to be a stagger, so does he try to find a kill and then go for point, or are they just going to let this one go? Looks like he's going to try to find a kill somewhere. He's going right on top of the Tyrant and gets absolutely shut down. Great teamwork and confidence coming out of Team Eager to shut down the DiGeDoG.
That's exactly the strategy they were hoping for. Wi-Fi trying to get the Theo off the map, but he won't find it. Reload stun coming through here. Ancient Rage actually going to be popped, and a Slither almost off the map. He's going to go for it again, and this time joshkent will take his drop into the ice mines below. 2 minutes remain here. 3 picks for Eager, and the momentum entirely on their side.
That's a mistake right there from both Kronicx and Haydz not to back all the way out and get themselves a confirmed health pool, because now again we're seeing staggers. 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 10 seconds now for Bomb King. This is going to result in a lot of free conversion of distance on the payload for Eager.
1 minute 52 remaining. Here comes out the firebomb onto the high ground, marked up 99% on the Crossfire once again. So ShadeeyShades ready to hit the gas pedal, ready to go in, but already poked down about 1,000 HP from Joelz. Over the top comes DiGeDoG and the Bomb King. Grenade launcher going to miss. 1 minute and 36 seconds remaining here as Eager breaking the base of Kanga Esports, looking to tie it up.
Oh, and here comes the Crossfire right into the face of the Grok, but does get stunned as ShadeeyShades from the Maldamba is able to turn though and find the 180 kill. Looking for more on Joelz, but the grenade will confirm that kill, but still nobody else alive. And with stolzey picking up the kill, it gets evened up at the 10.5 minute mark, 3-3.
Big momentum shift here on the Eager now with the 3-3 tie-up, and just frankly, it appeared as though Kanga were just, and willy-nilly, they were giving up these kills, allowing Eager to stagger them, really giving up 70 to 80% of that payload push before they even, you know, got collectively as 5 to make a hold.
It comes down to, again, that small moment where both Maldamba and Barrack were just too far out when they were getting pushed. They didn't retreat all the way back, and that little extra stagger means a lot when it comes to payload push, especially on this map where that underpass is the biggest choke point as far as where you want to set up your defense, and especially when you're facing up against a Drogoz, you don't want to give them that extra space right in front of your base because he can do damage to any part of the map at that point.
So just Dragon Punch online for Eager as almost everything is ready to go for Kanga Esports. An expensive defense. Here comes the King Bomb looking for one. He's not going to find anyone. Is he taking down DiGeDoG? Finding extremely low. stolzey will drive it home. Dome Shield comes out to zone. Joelz able to find ShadeeyShades. Here's the Dragon Punch winding up, coming through, looking for it. He's not going to find. He's going to whip around, retaining 30% of his charge.
And also having a lot of movement speed still after he hit that space bar, immediately coming out, able to get right back onto point. But Haydz is still set up here, and that's the big key. No one was dealing with the turrets, and they do a significant amount of damage if you let them.
So very key clutch. Dome Shield coming out to zone, creating a lot of space for Joelz and the boys to find kills, despite giving up Diggy in this first blood here, looking for the shots on a stolzey. He needs to be so careful. There's Interstellar planted in the wall. stolzey turns it around, is sitting one shot in the corner. Needs to be careful. Can't afford to go down here. 87% on the point for Kanga.
They need to find a way to get in, though. Joelz is still on the outside looking for damage, and nobody can get there. The shell spin is just a fraction too late. Oh, that one hurts as Eager was just about to pull that one back from being down 3-1. They tie it back up. That one's got to hurt a little bit.
That one's a big sigh of relief there coming from Joelz, as they knew that was close. There was about to be another fight that was not going to go for free. Eager here just narrowly giving that one up. Wi-Fi just a day late and $1 short with that shell spin. did get to the point eventually, but stolzey, I thought, was going to give himself and his team a great chance to actually take that back with the turnaround kill on the Diggy. And, you know, Sha-Lin is what teams have appeared to be going for to counter out the King.
And it works, especially if you are in an area where you can find Imperial arrows that are going to stun out the Bomb King. Again, he does have a little bit of a higher health pool. You had mentioned that earlier today as far as a damage dealer goes, but it can be fully chipped away if you get a successful combo with Sha-Lin between Impaler Arrow and, of course, the Planted. But again, the storyline continues to be that Kanga is very much so prioritizing the victor in these certain situations, and Joelz, who has the experience playing him in this incredible tracking, especially on Drogos that last game, finds himself at 92,000 damage.
Babyface killer. That was, you're right. When he tracked Bitey through the Dragon Punch, able to take him down before he actually lost Kronicx there on the Maldamba, that was a very clutch key pickup to swinging this back in their favor, swinging that first fight, that first engagement. 92,000 damage for the Lone Wolf.
Yeah, it's a big number, and being able to find a lot of grenades that hit and also proc the Grenadier card that gives that refresh again is really big when it comes to area damage.
He's got a lot of confidence in his grenades. That's a good point. A lot of no looks from kind of downtown, being able to confirm kills with that onto the Sha-Lin player. For Team Eager. stolzey, not something we traditionally see him play a lot.
I was about to say that. You know, I was expecting that we'd see stolzey being playing the Tyra by chance, just because of the direct damage coming out, and seeing again that this team between ShadeeyShades, stolzey, and even Bitey, throw him into the conversation. They can kind of dance around. But what are you feeling? What are you feeling? I'm kind of feeling the Sha-Lin, to be honest. Okay, go for it. And this actually comes off of, you know, ShadeeyShades playing a really good Cassie game where you're still kind of leading those projectiles at least a little bit. I kind of would have figured that Shades would have been playing, but still, stolzey did a pretty decent job. 24-6, 73,000 damage, not on top, but he was able to convert a lot of kills and kept him close.
So they're down, but not out. The boys in blue do have the chance to come back, and the King of the last game, the King overall of the land so far has been the Bomb King, and coming out of nowhere, he was the new player to the roster for Kanga Esports. DiGeDoG coming into the fold here has really been accepted. He's a nice guy, he's fun to be around, and frankly, he's got a lights-out Bomb King.
Yeah, to say it completely frankly, not having the best of games again, simply because stolzey did a really good job of, again, pushing around the Bomb King a little bit more than we had seen previously. And to be honest, Bitey, every time he plays Drogos, is getting better and better and better, especially in this matchup versus Bomb King. Still, though, able to find 51,000. Again, we saw that whiff, unfortunately, the Bomb King, ultimate, the King Bomb. But still, I think the big thing that a lot of people forget is the fact that...
Probably the most lackluster King game of the day, I would think.
Yeah, but even still, he provided so much zoning. You know, that's the big thing. Grumpy bombs and just placement of traps. It keeps people away from certain areas, and that's big.
Yeah, that's the rock, paper, scissors of it all. Teams they're aware of the Bomb King. They are aware it's coming. They know what it's going to do. And so you as a player, you can't buy too much into that. You can't just go straight into the back line, you know, where there's going to be a Tyra, Sha-Lin waiting for you to put yourself out of position. You need to play smart, but it's about the rest of your team stepping up too. If you are playing the Bomb King, there is a lot of weight resting on your shoulders for this event. And you do the best you can with all of the focus, and you have to rely and trust your teammates to be able to step up.
Do you think at a certain point that this tournament could possibly be won by whoever the best Bomb King player is?
I think it's close enough. I personally think it's whoever, because you have to play games with and without it. Right? Sure. Because if it's getting first picked every time, you will not have it every other game. So the team that is able to adapt and give themselves the best chance without it is going to take the tournament.
Bold picks. There it is. But I mean, you're absolutely right. It was the same way with Eevee at HRX, is who can play against Eevee best. And we're kind of seeing the same thing here.
And then it just turned into like Ruckus, right?
Yeah, it did.
So there's that mid-event adaptation, right, where Ruckus, all the tanks just became the priority, despite Eevee being the online monster, the first pick throughout the online stage. It's just all about who adapts the quickest. joshkent there, one of the big leaders for his team, one of the Eevee players of old. Frankly, haven't seen him back on that in some time. However, he's been kind of working more on his flexibility with his team as a whole since the HRX event in January.
Yeah, specifically on that support style, you know, kind of that quasi-support damage that we feel out of Grok, but has also played, as you mentioned before, a little bit of Ying, Maldamba. And of course, he can also pick up the Bomb King and do more than well with that. So, you know, really trying to flex on him a little bit is this air traffic controller from Australia.
Yeah, when I sat down with him for their interview, that was the main thing that they wanted to work on as a team. They had Alston as their support player during HRX, and they just felt with a pigeonholed player on your team that has to play one role every game, there were certain comps that they just couldn't pull off. They had to get everyone where they were comfortable. And after that event, they said, no more. We want everyone to be able to play anything and a guy that's really shown his flexibility as of late. Wiffle on your screen right now. Absolute lights out performance on Torvald today. Some of the biggest ultimates, I think, highlight reel play coming out of him today.
Got to watch out for the Hyper Beam, but we'll see. Maybe it comes into play in our next map. It looks like it will be Stone Keep. Not the most as far as environmental hazards go, but we have seen a little bit of Torvald here, so it's very possible, that Eager does end up choosing to go that route, as they do have the, this is their choice.
It used to be such a big part of their draft, just kind of making ShadeeyShades and stolzey able to carry that much harder champion draft. Will be coming up in just a moment here as we wrap up the intro video for Stone Keep. Eager back with the first pick again.
And opting to get that first pick, which
What's
is
it going to be?
My bets, I'm going to put bets on Bomb King. I don't know if you want to. Oh, man.
If I were a betting man, I'd have to
I'd
say
bet Maeve.
It looks like it's going to be that Bomb King.
I'll take Maeve 100-to-1 odds.
Kanga Esports with the chance to respond. Haven't leaned super heavily on the Shaolin throughout the day. They've been really looking after that Grok. The Makoa, I think Haydz likes playing that a fair bit more so than the Barrack, but the Drogos will in fact be what they look for. Bitey been playing pretty impressive Drogos stuff.
Yeah.
And Eager frankly needed it. They needed a Drogos player to step up and have some sort of answer, especially that was a big important factor throughout the online stages.
Yeah, it really kind of comes down to, can you get your Drogos to have the same level of impact as the Bomb King?
Sure.
It seems to be the conversation between a lot of these teams, and especially these two. Ooh, an early Lex pick, trying to get, again, that mitigation onto the possible Drogos. And, of course, we see Makoa also being rounded out for the first 3 for Eager.
Just damage control. Don't want to give it up. I expect Maldamba to probably go in this next round of drafting. They want to force Eager to be taking the Ying, which frankly doesn't shake them a lot. Awry, I think, is more comfortable on the Ying as a player. The Grok a little bit more effective against the Ying, as the deployable gives you that guaranteed, but it will be the Maldamba Shaolin locked in.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that does come down to the fact that coming into this, Awry was 7-1 in total sets when he did play Ying, compared to, I believe it was a 1-3 when he played Damba. And this is interesting. We're going to see Eevee being picked out here again to try to get that damage done into Shaolin. I actually like the pick simply because you're going to be relying a lot of your damage to be coming out of the Bomb King, so you can really focus Eevee into being that harasser.
So Kanga Esports leading the series 1-0. We're going to head straight on into game. Talk a little bit about these drafts. Accelerant, legendary choices for the boys. For Bitey's Bomb King, moving right along. Whipple will take Half Shell for his Makoa. ShadeeyShades on the Eevee with the Wormhole and Cauterize. stolzey taking Death Hastens, a Cauterize for him as well. Another Cauterize for the lifelike Arising.
Joelz will be playing Grok this time on Maelstrom. Josh Kent on the Maldamba will be using Ripened Gourd. It will be Architectonics for Haydz playing Barrack. Kronicx will be taking the Recurve on Shaolin, and DiGeDoG on Drogos will also opt for the movement speed of Wormjets.
A lot of Cauterize coming out. Kanga Esports already on the point, wanting to fight here with that Barrack. 24% and climbing Awry, getting set up the Ying clones. Need to be pumping out that healing. High ground Fire Spit is going to connect. So DiGeDoG knows someone is there looking for pressure onto this balcony. One more Fire Spit's going to do it. It's going to connect. First blood goes to DiGeDoG.
Absolutely big, but at the same point, Haydz also falls. So does Josh Kent. So support and frontline down. Actually, now for both teams, as Wi-Fi also falls as the Makoa. And DiGeDoG has essentially been going off for free at the moment. But now that all those frontliners and healers are down, the focus is turning to him. You see Eevee having the pursuit and the chase, looking to possibly get this last shot, but knowing that that's not the best situation for her to be in.
This Wormjets is going to be so difficult for the Eevee to connect, actually. Bitey on the Bomb King, trying to force Haydz out. The Poppy Bomb will spread everyone out. Wi-Fi with a beautiful pluck, setting up the trap. Watch your feet, watch your head, Barrack. You're going down, swinging. Bitey trying to confirm it, but Awry keeps him alive.
Unfortunate reload there for Bitey, as he was just not able to get that last bomb off, and with 93% for Kanga and now numbers, this is looking good for the Aussies as they continue to push their advantage. Shades is trying to do something, so is Awry, but just not enough dimensional link in the tank to keep that point toggled into overtime, and Shades is actually looking to come right back in with Bomb King, but they immediately get blown up.
Huge salvo there, the damage combined with the Ripened Gourd on the ground, enough to shut it down. Kanga taking the first point. Dragon Punch is charged and ready to go, trying to keep this momentum high.
Yeah, this would be a really good time to use it, to be completely honest. If you can just continue to keep them staggered, it's going to allow this payload to move that much further, but opting to stay at the high ground and just continue to throw in rockets left and right, and finding a couple shots to confirm on the Bomb King, who now, again, Bitey has to back up because of it.
Salvo primed and ready to go. Around the corner comes Kronicx, looking for an Impaler stun somewhere, some way. Isn't going to find it. Will connect, however. Damage going to be good onto Awry. Poking him low once again, but the healing is going to be so much early on in the game. Here comes the Tempest. Kronicx going to need some healing. Pops a Heat Haze just to keep himself alive.
Yeah, that's a really good combination of Grumpy Bomb and Dread Serpent on the backside of it as well. So Eager trying to find some legs on this defense, but again, continuing to find kills, at least in some fashion, is Kanga Esports. And with DiGeDoG still being allowed to go off as he is, he's been able to keep things even in the face of a lot of adversity. There was a really good combination between the Grumpy and the Dread Serpent.
Long-range bombs coming out, trying to clean up DiGeDoG. Shady blinks in and blinks immediately back out. King Bomb is ready to go. Eager have every ultimate available to them, and Bitey putting a lot of hurt on them. There comes the hook, trying to set up a trap, looking for it. 3 bombs on the ground, 2 will connect. Here's the Dragon Punch, looking for someone, looking for anyone. It will be stolzey that eats it around the corner.
Yeah, crosses the lane in the middle of traffic right there. I'm not sure if he knew where DiGeDoG was and just takes that 5 fingers right to the back of the head.
They drive on the wrong side of the road in Australia.
That's right. That would explain it. And Bomb King now also channeling the King Bomb, looking to get into the fray and find a way to get a big stun off. Will look for the Grok and will convert that, but still trade it out as Haydz finds a kill.
He didn't die. Grok still alive by the skin of his teeth. Oh no, it does now go down to Joelz. 2 more kills for Kanga Esports. stolzey finds the response. Ice Storm is ready to go into the wall, but narrowly escapes with his life and then killed on the way out. Kronicx finds ShadeeyShades, so Eager on the back foot. 1 more shot's gonna do it. Bitey stays alive for the time being. Doesn't take 1 down with him though. Immediately into Planet. Huge damage coming out onto Whiffle. Heat Haze is available if it's needed. Can't find the shot. Whiffle goes down. And Kanga drive it home.
I really like the use of Dome Shield there. A lot of people would question, was it really necessary? When you go up 2-0, it's absolutely worth it 100% of the time.
Yeah.
It's such a huge differential to go into, because now the only way that you can really find yourself at a disadvantage is if for some way Eager comes back, captures, and then also converts. Otherwise, you're looking at worst case scenario, likely a 3-1, which is still, again, in your favor.
So Kanga Esports with the credit lead heading into this one. Have not a lot of ultimates in the tank. They do have the Heat Haze almost ready to go on the Dragon Punch, but Eager going to be a little bit ahead in terms of ultimate charge.
Yeah, and that's going to be key as far as them trying to get back into this game when it comes down to what we see on the scoreboard. The interesting thing as well is the fact that we are seeing a couple of master writings coming out for both Haydz and DiGeDoG on the Barrack and Jorgos respectively, and they're opting to use that to push their advantage here on the church side of things. Church of Grover, as I'm sure you attend every Sunday, Mr.
Absolutely.
And looking for more damage again is Kronicx, who's able to find it with the combination of DiGeDoG again on the high ground.
Wow, Ice Storm to lock down a couple. DiGeDoG does take a spill. ShadeeyShades credited with that kill. Stuns Wi-Fi into the wall, forced to pop the Heat Haze. Doesn't want to be hunted out too hard by ShadeeyShades. Shady now going to find a new target, trying to find damage onto stolzey. Missing a lot in a row here. stolzey will have the chance to take this back. Nice combat slide, but straight into the Grok Tempest.
Yeah, and that one lines it up a little bit easier for Kronicx, who had a little bit of a tough time finding those mobile targets, and that's actually leading now to Eager finding a little bit of an advantage when it comes to numbers, as Awry finds himself a kill along with Shades and Bitey, who's looking for more on Haydz. Very low and will fall.
Awry with the triple kill. Playing cleanup duty on the Illusionist. You can't sleep on Ying's damage. Awry actually very notable for his aim, despite just playing these fire and forget supports. Can very easily contribute with those high skill parameters on characters like Ying and like Maldamba. Lex Acute could come through here. Drogo's falling very low. Eager swinging things back in their favor. They do find the payload in round number 2. Nice headshot off the back of the Dredge Anchor.
And a double kill as well. Again, continuing to push the issue is stolzey, but falling low, able to use that Fortitude card with the In Pursuit to get that health pool at least a little bit more sustained. And Bitey as well, also continuing to push the issue. This is the aggression that Bitey likes to get his team to go. He's probably out there right now saying, go, go, go. Why not continue to push the issue? And with 2 minutes left still on the clock before overtime, the payload is continuing to move.
Why not is the question here. Kronicx will take out stolzey, so Eager able to find one. Bitey take down Haydz. King Bomb is available. Double kill for Bitey. Up onto the high ground around, looking for more sticks. 1 onto DiGeDoG there. Big salvo comes out, trading out the blaster. Could decide the round here. Bitey's gonna get aggressive, but being wet with a rocket instantaneously. The frontliners are winning the fight for Eager.
Yeah, down in the trenches, Wi-Fi is gonna need to really pull this one together. Dread Serpent does come out for Kanga Esports, still looking to convert as Kronicx, who is able to find one along with joshkent, and this defense now on the opportunity to really start to push their own envelope to kind of get things set up and get those ultimate charges back in their favor.
Trying to throw one off the map before he gets taken out. Wi-Fi will take a spill, but that's the reason they went aggressive. Bitey getting a little bit overextended here from his team will go down and now be very staggered. The point I was trying to make is You mentioned aggressive. Why not? Because at this stage in the game, we get the kills, then we win the round. If not, we still have a minute plus to try and get it going again.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a over-ambitious charge, I think.
I was ambitious.
A little bit, but still, the fact of the matter is there's a lot of time left, but a really great impale into planted, takes stolzey off the board, and now they can kind of redirect their focus, does Kanga on this defense as Bitey tries to find the poke. But again, this poke battle between Drogos and Bomb King has been absolutely huge.
Reloading now, 44 seconds remain here. Eager trying to find the angle, trying to get in, pokes his head out, and takes 2,200 damage immediately. So Kanga playing no games, feeling no ways here, not letting Eager get an inch.
Yeah, if they let this thing go back 2-2, that's a very different game for Kanga as you look at how they approach this last half of the game. Oh my goodness, Bitey able to find one, the little fadeaway as he moves from right to left and looking for more as he continues to use his Pop Bomb to maneuver around the base of Kanga. Again, Dome Shield coming out possibly to help convert this defense, but a huge Grumpy Bomb, and stolzey finds two! Awry with another one with the third. Can Eager do it? They have the numbers, they have the presence. Shaolin is invisible with the Heat Haze looking for damage, and he's just trying to keep everything away, but still, the respawns are all staggered, and Team Eager comes back and evens it up 2-2.
Trying to buy time, but it's not going to find the mark. So now heading into this 2-2 scenario, Eager ahead in terms of ultimate charge. And credits look like they're starting to be tied up as well.
This is really a big moment in the game for Eager, not only because they've evened it up, but as you mentioned, they have an even credit score as well. Itemization is pretty even across the board, and they have the ultimate advantage. This is a really big moment. We see two different instances of Cauterize 3 for Eager, one instance of Wrecker 3, so those are what you need. That's what you want if you want to go up against this Kanga squad and make them that much more irrelevant in the late game. Having all that itemization online at the 9-minute mark is huge.
It looked like they just went straight through that Dome Shield. Did not get the full 6-second duration out of that Bomb King. Extremely effective at scaling off the record. So 2-2 here. Eager. Kanga Esports clashing, high ground control, likely to go to the Makoa hook if it can land here. Dragon Punch immediately primed up, charge, flying through the air, but there's another Dread Serpent. Kronicx got it charged up already.
Yeah, this is really big as DiGeDoG finds himself too and continues to go airborne, but stolzey hitting a lot of shots will push that Dragon back and looking to again try to find a way into this point. That really, that fight did not go the way of Eager, but again, big ultimates were spent to use it, so Eager does have a chance to come back and retake if they can get themselves together and get some ultimates on the board of their own.
Looking for the damage on the ShadeeyShades. Beautiful timing from Kronicx. Joelz trying to heal his team up before he goes down on Grok. Eager come raging back into this one. No cooldowns available for Shaolin. Just gonna have to withdraw out, but it's not enough. Double kill for Bitey. Double kill for Weifel.
This is absolutely huge for Eager. What a chance to get this back in their own ballpark.
It's a trap.
This is not
trap,
good.
Josh.
Grok, don't do it.
Oh, missed time there. He's gonna be able to sneak his way through. King Bomb up into the air, looking for someone. Comes around the corner. Does find one kill. Joelz goes down first things first. DiGeDoG up in the air, but Bitey frankly connecting, and Eager come away with it with a chance to take the game.
Yeah, if the trap doesn't work, I'll just use one of these, he says, and is able to convert the kills that way. And now 3 straight points for Team Eager. They are absolutely rolling. You can see a 14 streak for stolzey, and of course that's going to result in a ton of credits.
Pull the E-break now, Kanga. Don't get staggered like you did on Frozen Guard. It looks like they've wised up to their mistakes, waiting for all 5 members to come back. Now they're starting to move out, starting to look for poke. Haydz, though, isolated, very alone. ShadeeyShades smells the blood in the water. He's moving and trying to find it. One more shot's going to do it. He's in ice block, and he's able to escape safely.
My goodness, what a clutch moment there. If he would have missed that shot and gone into ice block, he's not running reprieve, so Haydz could have just set up with a turret, got himself some health, and could have finished, but nevertheless, it does go the way of Shades, and now with stolzey, again, still on the Lexecution, the law is still could be applied. Takes an Impaler arrow, but is not able to get any of the damage from Planet, and more damage from Bitey. This is going really well.
Target switch from Kronicx didn't take down stolzey despite getting the stun. 15 streak and raging forward. Eager, another Dread Serpent, hitting the mark so often on this Maldamba, swinging the fight back in his team serves. DiGeDoG with a double kill. Maldamba saves the day once again.
And that's the power of Worm Jets as well from DiGeDoG. The Dread Serpent comes out and he's already chasing down the feared opponents that are running backwards away and able to find 2 kills. That's exactly the kind of cleanup you want from that combination. But still, 1 minute and 5 seconds left until we get to overtime, and the payload is right there, Nick.
Absolutely incredible play from this Maldamba to try and get this charge up so often. ShadeeyShades A lot rests on his shoulders to try and find this pick early. There's a nice dredge anchor going to pull Joelz in on the grok. Can they get it done? Bitey will be taken down by Joelz. stolzey, though, with a double kill, still has the Lexecution in his back pocket if he sees his opportunity.
Yeah, Illusionary Rift used right there to help keep Team Eager right in front of this base, but DiGeDoG is going from left to right, up and down. He's all over the map, but stolzey continues to come online late. He finds himself a triple. Can they get more Eagers right here? Their team is there, 30 seconds left until overtime, but they're still getting pushed back and forth. This is a really close match.
Does get shut down once again. Whiffle takes down Haydz. One more shot from ShadeeyShades could drive it home. Is it going to be enough? Grok Tempest comes out, immediately shut down. Whiffle finds it, eats the Dragon Punch, but it's not enough. ShadeeyShades here going off in the heat. He's trying to stabilize Kronicx. Can he get it done? Inching closer.
Wow.
Eager find the W.
Wow. Holy smokes, Eager finding 4 straight points in the face of what was a very quick 2-0, keeping themselves level-headed, keeping themselves cool, and again, the 2 combinations right there, Wi-Fi and stolzey, absolutely coming big out for the team, and Bitey's even feeling it, having fun still.
What could he possibly have been talking about? That's what I'm wondering.
Potato.
Break it down for us, Shadeey. What the heck was he talking about?
I wish I could read lips.
Awry smiled. Oh my God.
Hello?
That's a good W when you get Awry to smile.
I mean, I didn't realize he had a personality.
He could go play for District 69 being that stoic. Boy, I tell you what.
Oh my goodness, tell you what. But still, I mean, this is a really good showing for Eager here. There were, like we mentioned previous leading into this game, there's some question marks.
It's important not to get stomped here.
Yeah, what are they able to bring to the table in this matchup? They were able to take 1 map previously and then making the first map as close as it was, 4-3, and then coming back and finding 4 straight points. This is absolutely incredible, and again, this Eevee pickup has been that no one really seems to want to be jumping into, but Shades is like, hey, man, I got it.
It's been so important for this team, just always with the man-to-man. 26 and 7, 76,000 damage. That's a lot of work for an Eevee to put in, and this is a character that is often left alone. And Shadey is kind of that lone wolf style of guys. You don't really rely on your healers a whole lot. You don't really rely on the setup from your frontliner. It's kind of, he's just the strong, independent man, getting it all done.
Yeah, he works hard for the money for sure. And you know, that being said, though, when you play a character like Eevee, when you have to essentially be good at being alone, there's so much extra awareness that goes into it. You need to know what the death timers are. You need to know who you can pick off who might be coming late to the fight. You need to know how to keep yourself alive if you find yourself in trouble. And he did a really good job throughout the entire game of making sure his presence was felt without really dying all that often.
It came so clutch, that 1v1 between Shadey and Haydz. Yeah. Shadey did come out on top of it. The Barrack player not getting the better of that end. 28 and 11, 47k damage, 115,000. Wow. Frankly, the most impressive thing that I've seen Haydz do today is his where he places his dome shields as well as when, because most of the time we just see him come out on the point. You know, it's exactly the size of the capture point. It's kind of implied, but we've seen some really awesome forward zoning dome shields come out, allowing his team space, creating a safe haven for them to push out and try and find a lot of damage,
or to find a way to get yourself back, to get yourself some breathing room to come back into a successful defense. It's been really big. You know, Haydz has had a really good decision making when it comes to executing that. And on the same point, again, I have to continue to say that Bitey continues to get better every single time he's either playing Bomb King or DiGeDoG specifically. And again, 29-13, 78,000 damage. Again, not the biggest numbers in the world, but
that speaks to Shadey's performance as well.
It really
barely
does.
Beating out ShadeeyShades Eevee.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage from both of them combined, and that's where that game is won right there, is in just those two finding those big numbers and getting the kill secures, not just the straight-up damage.
Yeah, ShadeeyShades working kind of indirectly alongside Bitey and stolzey, who had an absolutely lights-out game on Lex. Can't wait to see what his stats were, but Shadey's job is to clean up whoever Bitey and stolzey are able to poke. I don't think we saw the law come out one time. That whole game, was he just... I mean, that's kind of that ultimate, though. It's high risk and puts you in a bad spot on a squishy character, so a lot of times, I mean, stolzey loves to rely on his left click, on his aim.
But without a doubt, and of course, you know, one of the big things that he brings in his deck is that Fortitude card where he can get himself sustained, and level 4, it gives you, I think, like 650 HP when you utilize that right click in pursuit. And that's really big when it comes to, again, playing off by yourself and not having to rely on your healer. That was really the big key of him staying in fights for a long time. He had that huge streak to end the game on, and that's exactly the stolzey we expect to see.
Kronicx with a lights-out Shaolin performance, as well as really, really great performance from joshkent on the Maldamba, just getting that ultimate charged up a lot. Whiffle here, you can see him the Makoa player for Team Eager, had a lot of staying power towards the end of that game. Just felt like he was alive forever and ever, and hitting a lot of clutch hooks to drive that one home. A lot of that riding on the back of him. He's, you know, that's a lot of pressure to play Makoa, right? Because when you pick that up, your whole team is waiting. The whole game is looking at you. All right, you got to hit the dredge anchor. If you miss it, then your team kind of sighs of relief, and you just hear the enemy team screaming, go, 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 hooks down. Yeah, and that was, I think, the big factor when you look at Eager at HRX was Wi-Fi was just not as well rehearsed on front lines as teams that were above Eager at that point in time. The top 4 that made it onto the semifinals had these really, really strong frontliners, and Wi-Fi has really kind of come into his own as establishing himself as, yes, I can play Makoa, and yes, I will hook you from extreme distances. So despite losing the game here, nuts performance from joshkent. A lot of Dread Serpents coming out from his Maldamba. Timber Mill, the selection. And this is we talked about this a little bit, Kanga. They know no one in North America or Europe likes to play this map, so they're going to say, hey, we're going to get good at it. We're going to pull it out on land. We're going to make you beat us here. Yeah, and I think this is what you're going to see Kanga do a lot this tournament is they know that Timber Mill and Ice Mines are the 2 most banned maps, and since you can only ban one, you know, we'll take the other, and that seems to be the case, that they will have first pick here as well. So maybe looking to cater their draft again towards possibly having Joelz in that Knessa. So we saw, frankly, this is going to be a tough game to take away from Kanga, because not only did they get Bomb King, they got their selection of map, but they have already played it today against arguably the best team here. Yeah, and that being said, they took it in the face. They took it in the face of a Buck Eevee combination and an Androxus. I mean, they just sat there and said, you know what, whatever, we'll still play it. This is what we picked this map for, and Team Eager is coming back with the same boldness and saying, we don't care what you take. Who's playing this on Eager? Shady? It's Awry? I don't know about Awry. Is probably going to be locking down, still playing support, but I don't know, to be honest. And to be frank, if I'm just going to be bold and sit here and say, I don't know if anyone on Eager can play it as well as you saw Joelz play it earlier. I would have to be inclined to agree with you there. And Eevee going to be selective for Kanga. So do we see, this is the flexibility though, and we're seeing joshkent go from playing Maldamba to probably playing Eevee this time around. Yeah, and this is going to be really fun to see who decides to pick up the Eevee. I don't know for sure if DiGeDoG has an Eevee in his kit. The Barrack. Yeah, with the Grok pickup as well. So this will be interesting. You saw when Kanga developed their roster. Or do they go back to the Ruckus? I don't know. Ruckus and Torvald? Ooh, all right. All right. What else do they have up there? See, Torvald's still on the table. Yeah. I feel like you need to find some other way to do damage, especially against the Knessa. You can't just rely on Eevee to do it all. And to be honest, if Knessa is looking around for the Eevee, Shaolin could possibly get a successful planted off and find extra chip damage on the Knessa. Yeah, you bring up a good point, poking Knessa low. Now, do Eager draft a babysitter for this Knessa? That's kind of what Kanga did to make themselves safe, but I believe the Bomb King isn't available. It will be the Grover, however. I like it a lot, just simply because, again, the root plus the headshot damage, if they decide to go that legendary with Knessa, is almost an instant kill immediately. You don't even have to worry about it. There's actually 2 sources there of instant headshots, Makoa or Grover, if you find the pull. If no one can play it right, just sit them still. I mean, anyone can hit that at this level. Exactly. I know. I appreciate it. So give me your thoughts on who's playing what for Team Eager. Man, I feel like a lot of this is going to be speculation at this point. We'll have to take a look as we jump into game. I feel like I'm going to call it wrong. I feel like someone's going to surprise us. Secrets here. Getting in the game, joshkent will be on Eevee for Kanga Esports, taking the Wormhole legendary Kronicx with Lifelike Ying. Joelz, recurve for his Shaolin. Haydz taking Aegis for Fernando, and DiGeDoG taking Accelerant for Bomb King. And Wi-Fi will be playing Makoa with the half shell. stolzey will be playing the Knessa with Eagle Eye. Bitey with the Fortify on Barrack. ShadeeyShades on Grok with the Maelstrom, and Awry will be playing Grover with Deep Roots. Clashing on the point immediately here. Haydz trying to hold it down, but on his way out immediately here, giving space up to Eager. 21% already, 6% taken for Kanga. In the backline here, looking for damage. Bomb King trying to find it. First blood yet to fall. Yeah, this is a really interesting choice as far as how to maneuver on the map. They got DiGeDoG around the outside to stay level against that sniping perks we typically see Knessa, and we haven't seen a still. Even as we get to minute 20, stolzey finally finds the first kill, and it's on a big target. joshkent falls. That's on the target. The counter to him. stolzey gonna have the room to operate now. Needs to find some big damage here. stolzey poked out extremely low. Needs to be careful retreating back to his team. 60% on the point for Eager. 24% on Kanga. Kanga, and everyone is too afraid to step on.
This is absolutely a standoff right now. Nobody wants to peek their heads, and a lot of that comes down to, again, you have the Grover Knessa, but you also have Sha-Lin and Eevee and Bomb King, and able to find the shot. Huge pick there for stolzey. Now Eager pushes their advantage, and this is where it becomes interesting. Did Kanga get the draft they really wanted?
If stolzey can get hyper-aggressive onto the high ground now, this is where the snowball could start. There he goes. Transporter up onto the high ground. stolzey looking to get dug in this position here, looking for the dismounts on Kanga coming out of spawn. Will find one shot onto the Bomb King. 2 minutes and 20 remain on the payload push.
And Grover's doing a really good job of utilizing the Vine to get back over towards his Knessa to keep her alive. And I'm sure stolzey greatly appreciates that. But on the same point, we have the mobile tank set up right now for Bitey as he's getting these barracks, turrets, and the barricades around it. And it continues to push. Even though they are falling, this has been a really good first push for them.
It kind of lives and dies, the team fight by Knessa. As soon as stolzey fell down, DiGeDoG just started ripping through Team Eager. joshkent now pushing forward. Wi-Fi going to go down. Very staggered now. Good angle on to stolzey. Finds him as well. And Kanga now have the chance to get very set up and start finding these dismounts out of spawn. joshkent, incredible accuracy from one of Legacy EV players.
Without a doubt, and it's really, I'm interested to know how much rehearsal he's put into the EV, or if he's just saying, let's just do it, let's just go, let's just see what happens. And the big thing, again, when you're playing up against a Knessa, you just need to continue to displace her. If she has to keep moving, even if you're not getting a kill, it's opening up all the space for DiGeDoG to get into these advantageous spots where he can get a lot of damage done.
1 minute and 16 remain here. A couple of notable ultimates starting to come online. Headhunters ready to go. Tempest, Whirlwind, King Bomb, Heat Haze, Illusory Rift, Ice Storm up onto the high ground. DiGeDoG going to force out the Whirlwind early.
Yeah, I was interested to see if he's going to pop the King Bomb from up here. He's got a nice little spot, and there's a lot of clump. The Whirlwind is out, like you said, so not a lot of sustain left on the board for Eager, and it looks like it's just going to be Kanga opting just to poke and prod away and hope they can stay alive. But Grover right in the face of this, looking to possibly finish away, and Awry survives just barely.
Just gave it up. Awry went for the fadeaway shot there. He's going to be stuck by the Grumpy Bomb and taken out. DiGeDoG with the big damage there. Awry falls, Waffle falls. DiGeDoG with another kill on the ShadeeyShades. Bitey able to answer back only onto one. It's not going to be enough as DiGeDoG cleans up yet another member of Eager. stolzey as well. The Bomb King is on a tear.
And they're moving straight into the face to get these dismounts one more time, and again, continue to elongate that timer before it gets to overtime. It's not as aggressive as you typically see because, again, those kills kind of came in a string, so Eager will have a chance to stay mounted, as you can see a couple of players still are, to possibly get this one more shot. But again, it's a long distance to go, and with that trap setup, you have to be very careful, but joshkent taking out stolzey is a very good way to keep this defense in line for Kanga.
Bitey eats a lot of damage coming over the Bomb King trap. DiGeDoG able to drive that one home as well. joshkent attacking from all sides. Eager just have nowhere they feel that they are safe. Beautiful job into the ice block. Blink onto the high ground, starting to box out with Awry, who's just going to give it up. Fall back. Doesn't want to die to this EV player. Kanga Esports able to tie things up with a successful defense.
This has been great for Kanga to get themselves back online. You see DiGeDoG with an 11 streak. He's able to go into Record 2. And the big interesting factor is simply the fact of what is popping up yellow right now. We're seeing a couple of Chronoses across the board for both teams, but most notably, we're getting those Master Ridings on. And joshkent knows exactly what he needs to do to get closer to that Knessa by taking up level 2 of that.
And that can be so important. The sooner you can get the enemy team dismounted, the better. That's where Master Riding tries to come in and tries to cover some of that gap coming back from spawn. Going to be very important here. So big ultimates key still on the board. 11 streak for DiGeDoG with the King Bomb available. Immortal online for Haydz to try and stabilize, but frankly, Eager, they're resting a lot on this Headhunter. It's kind of one of the only ultimates they have to drive a team fight home.
And it absolutely can, especially if you're hitting shots and getting right into this. Wow, big Ice Storm right on top, and this is going to allow DiGeDoG to absolutely go off. joshkent and DiGeDoG combined, able to take away 2. You saw stolzey using the teleport to get away. Will he be able to continue that survivability? It will not happen. So now a 5-on-2 in favor of Kanga, and you can see that they are getting themselves right up in there to continue to find kills.
Completely separated. I'd like to see Kanga just take their time with those kills. Honestly, get them as staggered as possible, but they are going to drive them both home immediately. However, this Brock going to be caught out a little bit. This could get awkward here. Looking for more kills. Beautifully set trap. Knows exactly where that teleporter is going to take him. That is just extensive practice and map knowledge on Timbermill.
It's just great awareness. And that is a top level player exercising, just really knowing exactly how this team and Eager is going to want to play. They want to get back up there, so why not leave a trap, see what happens. Headhunter is procced in the background, but of course with the Fernando shield, it's really tough to get through that even with the Headhunter, and you can see how successful it is. But Dome shield right on top, 90%, it stalls out for Kanga.
joshkent joshkent shuts him down. There goes no headhunter online for Team Eager. A lot of healing ultimates. It's going to buy some time. Wi-Fi with 2 kills. ShadeeyShades finds Joelz. Eager may have found themselves a chance to stabilize. joshkent just in the way backline here, looking to duel out, maybe dismount a couple of members of Team Eager. stolzey just ignoring him, though.
Yeah, Camptown races right there as he continues to go round and round they go. And as they are still able to find himself right back up top with Awry. So this is actually really big for Eager, able to avoid that death and really kind of keep himself focused in on the point. You hear the illusionary rift going on in the background as joshkent does finally get a kill on the stolzey, but still the point is the hotly contested area with an ice storm right on top. And then King Bomb with a big double kill as DiGeDoG continues to push Kanga Esports just over the edge and allowing them now to get up 2-1 on the scoreboard.
ShadeeyShades and stolzey going down pretty early in that fight. Shady with a pretty aggressive angle towards Kanga didn't end up working out, was taken out by the Shaolin. 2 minutes and 20 seconds remain to push this one to conversion.
And this is just really good harassment from joshkent. Even though he's not really at that point in time able to get a kill, he's able to continue to get stolzey out of position, even though, again, Joelz does fall to stolzey. And finding another pick as well onto joshkent, so 2 for 1 right there as stolzey gets 2, ShadeeyShades another, and now Eager looks to push the advantage. You can see this tree is coming up right hot and fast right into Fernando's face, and Haydz has to back off.
Kronicx going to try and get his way out of there, but stolzey does find the eagle, takes him out. Beautiful dredge anchor to pull Haydz back in. Now going to be pretty staggered if he can't find his way out. 2 seconds off the shield cooldown, but it's not enough. Wi-Fi able to take that kill as well as finding one onto joshkent. DiGeDoG all alone here, and this is that Kanga stagger that they've kind of been getting in the rhythm of here today. So DiGeDoG wisely backs off, awaiting his teammates. But now stolzey with the chance to get set up.
Yeah, this is really huge as far as what can stolzey find. Whether it is a kill or just extra chip damage onto a front line, the big thing is he needs to be able to survive. He needs to continually put down damage. You can see him putting up the suppression mines to try to give him an advantage against the Eevee, but she's just so mobile with this wormhole.
Trying to find him. There comes the whirlwind just to keep everyone from Team Eager safe. A minute remains. Drive this one home to conversion. Headhunter is online. Awry finds the first kill.
Wow.
stolzey finds the next 2. Double kill for the sniper.
Yeah, hands are shaking for sure as he continues to find these headshots, and those are 2 big pickups. Gives Eager a chance to really, again, continue to set up this defense. Awry as well from downtown with these axes. This is absolutely massive amounts of damage at range, and every bit is absolutely worthwhile, especially against a team that likes to get in your face, just like how Kanga does.
stolzey eating 2 big shots is going to fall from joshkent, so Josh giving his team the chance, the space created now for Kanga to move in, try and get this payload push moving once again. Their momentum has been skunked for the majority of this round.
Yeah, this is such a tough map to push on. It absolutely is. It's just so hard to get around these corners when you're going into a face where you can be on the ground floor, the second floor, or the roof of most of these buildings. It's really tough to pick and choose your fights, especially when you have a Knessa who can absolutely shred you from distance.
Absolutely. Wise ice block there, despite pulling the cooldown, looking for the angle onto stolzey. He makes him aware of it. Shot's going to come out, sort of get him back up onto the high ground. stolzey going to go for maybe the bait and switch here. Wiffle has been so low for this whole time. He's relying entirely on Barrack to hold down this front fire. Awry's going to be forced to fall back. Big ice storm onto 2. Kanga moving in for blood.
Yeah, but nobody's here to follow up on this besides Josh. Josh is here, and that's about it, and he also falls. So the ice storm used at a very good spot, but you see illusionary rift also still on the board, so 2 ultimates expended. They are able to get on the payload, but the further and longer this overtime goes, the quicker it will expire, Nick.
They need to try and get pressure onto stolzey here. He's in the back corner. He is set up, but doesn't have a shot on anyone. DiGeDoG eats a big one around the corner here. He's going to need some heals at some point. Awry sees him. 10 streak for the Grover player, actually moving out. Big grumpy bomb stun onto Wiffle, but no further punishment comes out. DiGeDoG gets into the back line and takes out stolzey.
This is going to be really big. Ancient Rage also being used here for Eager. They're feeling the pressure, and Fernando continues just to keep that shield up and look at everybody through it. Awry also proccing in the whirlwind to keep his team alive for this defense. This is really good for Kanga. Even if they don't get it, they baited out a lot of ultimates, and Wi-Fi finding 2 with the help of those axes. That's probably going to secure things. As Awry also getting a deep root, that will happen. But again, Nick, big ultimates being used. Headhunter 59%, 16 and 22% for both Ancient Rage and Whirlwind respectively.
I like the liberal use of the Headhunter, though. Can get that charged up very quickly if you're connecting with your shot. So Shiv, take us through some of these late game itemizations as we are now over 11 minutes into this one.
The interesting thing when you look at this is, again, who is going to choose to go into Master Riding? You see stolzey with level 2, but on top of that, DiGeDoG, who has maxed out his record, is opting to go for that extra mobility early on, especially in these team fights, but also to close the gaps when he is staggered by chance with the rest of his team. Damage dealt, you can see how dominating Kanga has been, but it's not resulting in points on the board necessarily, because again, this double front line has done a very good job of containing making space for Eager.
Double front line, double support for Team Eager. Just the Knessa in terms of damage, trying to do as much as she can, but it's a tall task.
Yeah.
stolzey actually going to sit out on the high ground, use his third-person perspective while on his horse, just to get a tab for the battlefield, make it difficult for Josh. You know they're looking for him, misses the headshot, unfortunately, on the Shaolin. It could have resulted in a one-shot insta-gib. 12% on the point, but they're not really worried about the point just yet. Eager are looking for blood. They find 1 kill, 2 kills there. Kanga Esports answering back.
And a Dome Shield in a really interesting position for Haydz, mostly to keep himself alive and also section off the part of the map. But the Ice Storm as well right here for Kanga as they continue to find a way to make things work in the face of what looked to be a very nice push for Eager. But they're able to bait out all of that Dome Shield and not take really any damage whatsoever. Now Kanga goes up above 50% on the capture.
Ooh, 2 missed shots there from stolzey, so Josh can't gonna escape at full health. Big one on a Kronicx though in the backline, setting up a trap. Whoever comes through the teleporter is going to be taken out. I think Eager are starting to wise up to this little trick coming out from DiGeDoG. Here comes the ultimate King Bomb up in the air. Headhunter eats a big shot. Needs to be careful here. Whips it around, back onto the point. Wow. Big kill onto ShadeeyShades.
And the stun onto Moore, as you see Haydz is right there with the Fire Lance, able to do a lot of damage himself. So now it is just up to Awry and stolzey while this is in overtime if they want to contest this, but unstoppable just before he falls. Awry does cancel it out, but still the point goes to Kanga.
Diggy almost killed everyone in that engagement, and narrowly so. He narrowly stayed alive, coming back down onto the point, was just finding beautiful pop blast shots over the top of the boxes. Joelz getting hooked in and rooted out. He's likely to go down here, and he will take some planted damage, poke somebody out as best he can. Looks like Kronicx and the Kanga boys wanting to play this one carefully. Don't want to fall into that kind of snowball staggered Kanga line that they have been.
Yeah, this Kanga line, you might say.
Ooh, got him.
I'm trying. It's hard to keep up with
rubbing off on you.
It's really tough to keep up with him. He's just so meme-worthy.
Come on, it's my first break of the day from that.
My bad, dog.
joshkent eating a big shot there from stolzey, and Bitey will fall down. Haydz eating a lot of damage as well. Needs to be careful. stolzey not feeling a lot of pressure right now. Diggy finds 1 bomb across the map onto him. Clones just getting taken out. Grover has the opposite of fall-off damage here. 1 more axe going to do it. Not even going to need it. Wi-Fi drives that one home. Awry looking for blood, but he finds one of the most lethal characters in all of Paladins. DiGeDoG going to be the one to back off, but stolzey mid-air sends him back to base.
Yeah, this is a dream situation for stolzey. You have Awry who's playing a really good Grover right now, and hitting those long-distant routes plus 2 follow-up axes, that's the dream because everyone has to back off, or you find yourself a secured kill. They find a total of 4, and again, Eager holding this defense up.
That ice block actually giving away Josh's position too. stolzey knows exactly where he's going to be coming from. Forced to wormhole back out. Diggy getting aggressive here alongside joshkent. Will find the kill. The pick onto Awry. Is this the space Kanga need?
They need to find a kill onto the front line, to be completely honest. They do take down Bitey, who, again, is playing that barrack. He hasn't made a lot of noise as of yet, and now with kills coming out from Joelz as well, this very well could be a situation where Kanga can get some damage done as far as distance covered. Nice overhead shots for DiGeDoG, and knowing exactly when to channel that the detonation is so big when it comes to getting that area damage.
4 for 4 on the bombs there. 30 seconds remain. Whirlwind comes out from Grover. Team Eager expending an ultimate often and early to keep themselves alive, but still so much damage coming through. stolzey pops the headhunter. He has to go big here. He's the majority of his team's damage. Only 17 seconds remain. He's looking to just cut the legs out from under the payload, putting pressure onto the support wisely. No kills given up just yet.
Yeah, an Illusionary Rift also coming out for Kanga to keep everybody alive. This comes after the Immortal that was used previously over by the Sawmill, and now Joel's finding more kills with Josh. This very well could be Kanga. It gets into overtime, but the payload is still moving, and a Kanga finds themselves the victory after a successful push. They survive on their own map.
It's just not enough. Once the payload gets past that critical mass point where it's close enough to Knessa where she can't safely do her job, I mean, Eager don't have enough damage to win these team fights, especially against the Bomb King Shaolin and Eevee Onslaught.
Yeah, it's you can tell that Kanga's been putting the time in on this map. They seem to very well understand what they need to execute on different parts of the map and how to best do that, even when they don't get what was probably their dream pick of trying to get that Knessa onto their side. They're able to react pretty nicely. You know, the big thing again, and I hate to bring it up, is the fact that I really don't feel like stolzey was able to do as good of a job as Joelz had previously using the Knessa. It felt more like, let's take this away so they don't have it. And I don't know if that was the cause for the loss at all, but the fact of the matter is the damage was just not there. Kanga had 3 characters who were above the Knessa.
I mean, I feel like that game, that draft is a nice metaphor kind of for the LAN. You know, the best we can operate around Bomb King, who was played by DiGeDoG in that game, the quicker you can adapt to that, the quicker you can adapt to this meta as a whole, where this character is so important. You can see 33 and 11, 110,000 damage. And when Josh wasn't able to get aggressive, when he was starting to take some L's 1v1 with stolzey, you saw them just go in together and actually pick off Awry, who was kind of on babysitter duty for stolzey.
Yeah, and that's a pretty good role for Grover to fit in his homeland of Timber Mill. Maybe a little bit of a sore subject for him. He's probably got some scars built up from that. But
yeah, you don't want to trick Grover.
Without a doubt. But still, like, the fact of the matter is that he can vine up onto that high ground where Knessa is really big. And as we take a look to see what stolzey was able to do, you know, I don't anticipate him being near those 6 digits that we saw the Bomb King from DiGeDoG, and he only finds himself at 84,000. So, you know, it's still a good number, but the fact of the matter is there was nobody else to help him out in the damage category.
Exactly. That's the main point. It gave Kanga an easy target. You know, we shut him down. We shut basically all of their team fight damage down. The rest, you know, the double frontline or the double support, it's not going to get any kills. It can stall for a while. But definitely going to lean heavily on that Knessa, and especially when you kind of predict where she's going. We saw DiGeDoG setting up traps for anyone who came through the teleporter. That's almost an insta-gib as they come through. He definitely has the reaction time and the knowledge and the map skill to be able to pull it off. Yeah,
and you know, this has just been really interesting to see how different players are starting to play different characters. Shaolin for Kronicx again, able to find 103,000. I think he was kind of a surprise after he played Shaolin earlier in this set, and he was able to do very well.
He was just free firing that whole game, right?
Yeah.
So much attention is being paid to stolzey by joshkent and by DiGeDoG. That was where the majority of the action was happening. Where meanwhile, he's letting loose from downtown. He's under no pressure. He's feeling good.
Yeah, and that's just really good drafting on the part of Kanga to know that they're going to keep the Knessa busy. So you need to find somebody else.
I think that was like their last pick too.
Yeah, well, yeah, I believe it was, to be honest. And that's just really smart because you know that you're going to take your picks to harass against the Knessa, and Eager has to respond to that. And nobody seemed to pay attention to Shaolin whatsoever. So they get themselves their own bit of free damage and able to do more than the Knessa. So that's huge.
That's the beauty of their draft. Kanga had 3 champions that could drive that team fight home. We saw how much damage the Shaolin was able to poke out. Probably primarily onto stolzey, who then joshkent could try and drive that kill home. ShadeeyShades on the Grok that last game was a little bit interesting. That's, you know, trying to show some flexibility there, playing what his team needed overall, but not something we're traditionally used to seeing out of him. And he's normally with stolzey. He's like the number 2 or the number 1 trying to carry the game, and he just couldn't do it from the Grok.
Yeah, you have to pick your poison, right? And in that instance, you really couldn't go with another flex where you're looking for, you know, your traditional shady pick, which is chaos, you know, chaos damage dealers.
Yeah.
I mean, there just wasn't an opportunity for that. And I won't say that they really sandbagged Shady by putting him on the Grok, but again, like that aspect of damage just was not there for someone who we typically look at the end of the day or end of any match with their damage stats being head and heels above everybody else. Not the case here.
He's so important to the success of Eager, the success of that play. I mean, you could even see it in his play. Like, he wanted to be doing that. He took the aggressive angles with Grok like he was trying to be a flanker, and then when he hit his mobility button, it was just ghost walk, and he couldn't get out.
Yep, and again, you have to spec really heavily in the Ghost Walk if you want it to be as survivable as a lot of other escapes are in the game right now. And that obviously takes away from your ability to do damage. So again, double-edged sword when it comes down to it. But, you know, I really, it's hard for me not to smile watching Wi-Fi play his Makoa today. He's been absolutely lights out. He's been playing a really, really good Makoa. And it's really good to see that Eager is able to flex themselves a little bit more in the frontline status. Because, again, that was one of their biggest weak spots heading in. And they seem like a more complete team. I mean, they're giving Kanga a run for their money here, the same way that Kanga gave a run for their money to D69 earlier. So they're really showing that they can compete. It still seems like they don't quite have the same intent as Kanga does coming in. Kanga has definitely something they want to put together as far as what their team comp and maps look like. And Eager is doing a good job of responding, but now that they get a chance to go to their own map, they really need to come out strong.
So leading the series 2-1, Kanga Esports, but narrowly. I think Eager have closed the gap since their set earlier in the day. Frog Isle will be the selection, and frankly, the Torvald being very strong today on this map, especially with Wiffle being on top of his game and every sense of the word, hitting some seriously highlight reel hyper beams on this particular map.
And they also should likely have first pick. They do, so I have to imagine it's going to be a Bomb King. If they do take the Torvald, the thing to consider for Eager is they love to pick the combination of Torvald and Tyra. They really think Tyra comes into her true colors when she has someone who can give them not only a little bit of boost of health, but also damage and also speed. So we'll have to take a look to see if they do opt for a Torvald and if that does synergize with a Tyra by chance.
So Sha-Lin locked in. Makoa likely to be the follow-up here is sort of finding himself, but no, it will be the Barrack. Maybe Kanga, knowing how heavily Eager are leaning on Torvald in general, especially with their backs against the wall, and this being Frog Isle, they know they can take the Barrack and maybe be safe to pick the Makoa up later.
It actually kind of challenges Team Eager at this point in time. It goes, well, are you going to take the Makoa or are you going to take your Torvald Tyra? Because you really can't afford to take both. I mean, they could, but it would really focus them up on the point, and now with the Lex coming into play, it looks like Kanga gets their answer as far as what direction Team Eager wants to go on Frog Isle.
Yeah, Lex hasn't really been a huge factor for Kanga. Really only Team Eager in this series prioritizing that one. So interesting to see them pick that up pretty early here. Grok as well. Do we expect the Maldama to come through to try and force Eager into the Ying to give them an easy deployable target?
There's your answer. I think that's the right call as well. I mean, your thinking was pretty much parallel with what I was sitting here and considering myself. And yeah, that's a really strong pickup for Kanga. Force them into the Ying, which of course, obviously is not the best as far as synergy with Lex and Bomb King because they want to be all over the map. And you always have to come back to Ying's illusion if you want that healing.
We say that, but I really don't think Eager care enough. I really think they honestly will take the Ying over the Maldamba, even given the choice into the Grok, despite giving up that free shock pulse bounce target. Eevee picked up for Team Eager. You know, backs against the wall. These are the comfort picks. This is Eager's draft. This is Eager's draft. They have to win this game.
This really comes down to you know exactly who's going to be playing what champion, and you're going to know that they're in their top 2 favorite champions in their whole pool. That being said, Kanga is going to respond by busting out the Ruckus. I actually really like this pick a lot, simply because, again, if you can find a way to put extra damage down to the front line, it's going to keep Eevee a little bit more in check, because she's going to have to also help out that Makoa.
Sure, and she can lock it down with Ice Storm. We're going to have to see I think a lot of wombo comboing from Eager with the ultimate, setting up maybe a law at some point today. We could see the Lex ultimate actually hit home. I think it's going to be pretty important and frankly not super difficult to pull off against this Kanga lineup. We do have the Ghost Walk Slither, which is going to be rough. Maybe the withdraw. A lot of cooldowns to keep track of to try and find the mark with this ultimate, but only one deployable shield to block it for Kanga.
And that's going to be really big, but as we take a look, Bitey will be on Bomb King, has currently selected Chain Reaction. Wormhole for ShadeeyShades on the Eevee. It will be Wi-Fi using Half Shell on Makoa, Lifelike for Awry on Ying, and to finish it off, stolzey will be taking Death Hastens on Lex.
So real quick for Kanga Esports, joshkent on the Maelstrom Guard, Kronicx for Aerial Assault, Ruckus, Recur for Joelz Sha-Lin, Ripen Gore for DiGeDoG's, Maldamba, Haydz, Architectonics heading on into game here. First blood, Makoa ripping a target around the corner, but does go down.
Yeah, and that's going to be a support for frontline.
Nice
Not the best
shot.
trade. stolzey able to clean up, looking for more, finds himself a double. Is he going to get aggressive? He will. He combat slides right into the face of this Grok, forces him out, and now Eager coming right back after getting that double kill from stolzey, able to find themselves some capture percentage of their own.
So really notable here, Bitey going for the chain reaction this time. Will not be very mobile, but those traps are going to be deadly. Anyone that gets hooked into those will be insta-gives. This is a playstyle we talked a little bit about leading up to the tournament. 57% already for Team Eager, but I love the adjustment. I love that they're bringing it out. They're setting it up right now. Wi-Fi looking for the hook.
Yeah, and if they find one, it will be almost an instant delete, but on top of that, chain reaction is so deadly against Ruckus because it's just a free target, which is absolutely huge. And there you see it. Kronicx falls very, very quickly in the scheme of things as the Ruckus. Sha-Lin also in danger. Awry does fall, but again, Bitey and stolzey right here, and Wi-Fi continues to find these cannonball shots to find kills.
Eager pull ahead. First payload going the way of the boys in blue. Kanga Esports leading the series 2-1. Eager backs against the wall. Need this game to stay alive in this tournament.
This is a really big moment for Eager. They already have a couple of ultimates getting very close to being at full charge. Of course, you see it for Kanga. There already is Shaolin's Heat Haze. stolzey is pushing the issue right in front. Haydz down, as well as joshkent. This is a big moment. If they can continue to get aggressive here, Eager's going to have a big chance to convert this. stolzey, again, still playing lights out, able to get more for this Lex, and that's going to result in more credits as he continues to find people on his retribution.
Forcing the healing totem cooldown out as well, so nothing. No tools available here. Kanga just struggling to try and get a defense up, popping the right click just for the healing, pulling it out. The Maldamba DiGeDoG goes down.
This is a huge moment. Ice Storm as well into the backline. You can see those ultimates are being used very early. It's go, go, go for the blue team and Eager.
Surprise.
And they're finding the kills. And stolzey around the backside. There's a full team wipe. And with a minute 30 left, there's nobody up right now for Kanga. They can't even get there. We're at a 3-minute 2-0.
Win or lose, Frog Isle tends to be just 4-0 games. There's so much momentum build up right now. Eager have all of it, absolutely crushing in the credit department. stolzey, 542 still to his name after picking up Cauterize 2, still with the Law online. King Bomb available as well.
13, 10, and 12 are the kill streaks for Bitey, Wi-Fi, and stolzey respectively. That's huge. That's a lot of kills coming out for both of them, and getting participation on kills for the whole team. It's absolutely monumental. There's still ultimates on board, 2 of them for Eager. All we have is a Tempest, which is essentially a non-factor when you look at it as far as a team fight goes for Kanga.
Just trying to keep his teammates alive, almost ready to go on the Hexafire as well. Has the Dread Serpent. Dome Shield pretty far off the mark. 13 streak for Bitey's Bomb King, leading the way here, leading the charge for Team Eager. Trying to find it done, setting up that instant give trap. Someone's getting dropped in here. The hook, it's going to be good on a Ruckus, but they're unable to find the kill.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate situation. Dread Serpent also finds a huge one as they clumped up and looking for damage now as Kanga as they continue to push the issue, but stolzey is still on the outside looking to find some poke with that Cauterize, and that actually dissuades Kanga from pushing the issue too much, and it very well could be as he has it all the way fully up. He's going to use the Fortitude card to get himself back and healthy, but still, there is too much there as DiGeDoG on this Maldamba now is able to find kills, but still Eager on point, finding hooks, finding sticks. This is absolutely huge as Kanga Esports stalls out at 50%.
Absolutely, now moving out for the zone. Still unkilled in that engagement, as well as Whipple on an 11 streak. Bitey now on a 16. Grumpy Bomb comes out to zone. King Bomb is still here. Kanga are in a bad spot. They're getting to the point where they need to force this one in there, and they're going to have to run into King Bomb, into Ice Storm, into Ancient Rage, and Execute.
Yeah, they're going to go for it. Grumpy Bomb is unfortunately clips part of the map, so not able to get back to the point, but that really makes much of a difference as continually Wi-Fi finding more kills on the Makoa. He's absolutely keeping himself in the conversation for damage, I imagine, right now, as he continues to hit cannonball after cannonball. 3-0 goes the scoreline, and Eager still sitting on 3 ultimates, looking strong.
Ancient Rage available as well. Waffle taken out, moving to zone, trying to hook somebody off the map. Healing Totem will come down. 2 minutes remain here. Eager looking for blood. 19 streak for Bitey, still unshut down. Long range bombs coming out. He's gonna make it. The Venti streak, more damage coming out. Kronicx around the corner. Chain reaction doing a lot of damage onto this Ruckus. One more bomb's gonna do it.
My goodness, Eager is absolutely stifling right now. Kanga Esports sitting in their spawn, not able to even come out as a full 5-man. We're still at a minute 45, and there's no good way to exit. Everything leads to disaster right now for Kanga. And again, with this Poppy Bomb, even though it does not give him the mobility that you typically see from Accelerant, he's still able to use it in a very prolific manner to get himself around the map.
Chasing down stolzey, looking for it. Here comes the King Bomb under the Dome Shield. He's not going to pop. He's going to pop in a pretty awkward spot here. Will stun out too. Dread Serpent does come through, but connects onto no one. Whiffle takes home the kill, does find the W. Team Eager staying alive. Very momentous win there, 4-0, and that was a very quick game.
Very quick. And again, we saw this happen to HRX with the top 2 teams in Grand Finals. Frog Isle was just a quick map. Both of them either being 4-0 or 4-1, and Eager, I think they really needed that, to be completely honest. They've had these
look
really,
like they did. They're starting to crack a smile. Okay, we got this.
They're right in there, and they've been feeling all of this pressure, you know, in this what could be their last matchup, and this is do or die. And either you win and you make it to the semis tomorrow on Sunday, or you lose and you're done. And we heard the interview with Bitey. He does not want to end up outside of the top 4 again, and really putting the pressure on Kanga. So, really great play here from Eager.
Trying to make it to out of the group stages here. You can see the cheeky smile coming through for Diggy as he knows he's probably going to get the Bomb King. It's his turn to be the star of the show. Lex, though, despite having the Bomb King with the massive streak, stolzey kind of living up to his namesake, really holding W in that game, getting extremely aggressive and not getting super punished for it, finding a lot of headshots and a lot of hot plays.
Yeah, and that's what he does. I mean, that's why it's his currency in stream. He finds all the hot plates and continues to find ways to make this roll on through in this matchup against Kanga. And, you know, he had a really quiet start to the day in the first matchup, but really coming to life here as he found some traction against Cube and continuing that momentum as he continues to find a lot of kills and a lot of damage here in Kanga. It's round 2 of this matchup.
And Lex is just his character, right? It's that hit scan. It's absolutely the character that he wants to be playing, a guy known for having a great shot, a long-time Counter-Strike player, now turned to Paladins, likes to one death there, 22-1, 41,000 damage in a very quick game.
Yeah, but his shielding numbers, I mean...
Step it up, kid.
I mean, this is just great to see. I mean, this is what a lot of the North American community that follows stolzey, they want to see him in the highlight reel. They want to see him up top, and he's providing that entertainment right now, you know, with this Lex pickup especially. We've seen him play Androxus a couple times today and do so very, very well. And on top of that, you mentioned it, DiGeDoG is going to get his Bomb King. Didn't have the best of showing here on Maldamba. Again, 3 and 5.
Yeah, it's going to look bad, right? You get rolled on Frog Isle. There's no really way to slice it. But he's playing Maldamba, and I just love the flexibility of this team, of this Kanga Esports squad. Like, we've had 3 different players playing support, maybe even 4. I'm not sure. They've been playing everything. Everyone can do whatever they want, and it allows them to get the team comp that they need and not be worried about whether or not they feel they can play it at the highest level.
Yeah, a lot of that comes down to the simple fact that they feel comfortable with each other, that they can kind of dance in and out of their normal picks and still do very well. And that's really the key as they look to get their final map choice. And as we take a look again at the young stud here, Wi-Fi, Genoa, as we call him here in the hood, 17-1. Just, I mean, again, showing he's been really, really good at Makoa today.
Nuts performance from him throughout the day across Torvald and Makoa. Haven't seen a ton of Barrack out of him. Haven't seen a ton of Barrack really out of Eager, period. They prefer the Torvald to allow stolzey and ShadeeyShades to kind of do their thing a little bit more. So only 21 objective time, notably, for that game. So very aggressive play style that time around.
Yeah, and Eager likes to do that. A lot of teams, especially North America, like to do that. They put their support on the objective, and they don't even bother with the fact that their frontliner is, again, doing that, establishing where their front line's going to be. And with someone like Bitey behind you and encouraging a lot of his team to get aggressive and move on, Wi-Fi has really kind of drank the Kool-Aid and really gone with that mentality. And you can see it's really paid dividends for his gameplay here today, as he's been able to find a lot of really clutch hooks that have led to his team being in these odd man situations where they can really hit their advantage home.
Kronicx there for Kanga Esports, one of the key members there playing the Ruckus. Crazy just aim on this guy, mechanical skill. We were all laughing. He takes aerial assault almost every time on Ruckus, just because it's fun, you know. He's probably not doing the math on Flux Generator or any of the defensive options. He's just like actually juking abilities and stuff with Ruckus, which is a funny thing to say because one of the most immobile characters in the game, very punishable by Bomb King, especially when Bitey's taking chain reaction.
Yeah, that's, and again, a legendary choice we don't see a lot of. A lot of people opting to stick with the, you know, the extra Poppy Bomb movement speed and distance covered from that ability. But again, you could take a look to see how much chain reaction does against more stationary characters like Ruckus, and that's a lot of the reason why we're not seeing Ruckus being played a great deal, especially in the face of a Bomb King.
ShadeeyShades setting the tone on kind of the classic Eevee style. Bugsy's still the only one to pull out the Reprieve legendary for Eevee, the healing and the ice block. He's still going for that wormhole blink in, blink out playstyle, and frankly being very effective on it. We saw joshkent pull it out once on Timber Mill, but ShadeeyShades, ooh, dab, Coop DOGG,
Coop's
stealing the show.
He does that every now and again, I feel.
Please, Cooper. Be gracious.
More, please more, not please stop, please more.
So we're looking chat already loves Coop.
That's the truth. How could you not? The beard has really gotten full force with him, too. I mean, if we're going to talk about Cooper, might as well talk about Cooper.
How old do you think Cooper is?
Cooper? Isn't he like 24?
He's like actually younger than me. I think Cooper's only like 21.
That's hot.
I swear to God.
That's hot.
That's great.
Cap pride in the chat for Cooper.
So, two guys here, and it's all coming down to Fish Market. Kanga Esports versus Team Eager. Best of 5 set, game number 5. On one of the least common maps here, we're seeing more Timber Mill, more Frozen Guard, and now Fish market.
This is a very interesting situation for Kanga. This is the 5th map that they played against Burrito, and they did not find success. It went 3-3, came down to one last point, and they're going to go one more time in this best of 5, where they will have this map be the determinant of who moves on to tomorrow and who goes home and watches the rest of the tournament at home.
Both teams fighting with their backs against the wall. Dab, Vinny in the background. It's ready to go. It's freaking lit here at the Masters LAN. Makoa and Drogos locked in.
Someone get a fire extinguisher. It's too hot. Makoa Drogos.
The dragon.
Yeah, that's, you know, Eager, this is a good map for Drogos, without a doubt. I mean, he's able to find a lot of different angles to get Spitfires off, and that's going to be a real big key for Eager as far as how do you determine this matchup against Bomb King. This is a good map where Drogos can really put the same damage numbers and have the same kind of presence that you typically find from a Bomb King.
Eager is all reptiles right now in their draft.
It's good.
Can they go for the Grover here and just keep in the realm of just fantastical creatures?
Stay away from the humans. The humans are wrong.
Humanoids are nerds.
Shaolin Barrack picked up for Kanga again. Haydz prioritizing the Barrack in his frontline preferences. And we've seen again, Shaolin does a very good job of dealing with shields on top of the fact that that Impaler plus planted combo can absolutely erase anybody at any given point in time off the field. Maldamba also picked up with Lex. So again, this is very similar, Nick, to what we saw from last game. Eager is finding characters that...
I just love that Bitey gets to play what he wants now.
And the same thing here with, you know, stolzey playing Lex. They're just playing characters that they're comfortable. And this is what Eager has struggled to do in their draft. They kind of forced themselves into what they thought was the right competitive meta, and it may not have been their strongest or best characters. So this is a really good draft from Eager thus far. You're going to see Kanga again on Victor and Ying. Man, that's going to be very dangerous. Joelz on Victor it's hard to deal with.
Do they go for the Grok here with the guaranteed bounce target? Eager not leaning super heavily on this Grok. I imagine they're going to pick up something for Shady here at this point, because I anticipate Bitey to be on the Drogos, Lex for stolzey, Awry on Maldamba, and then of course Wiffle on Makoa. So this is all comes down to what Shady wants, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, we have duct tape on site, but I don't think they need it in this instance. Eevee has been doing a very good job, and ShadeeyShades was the first person to bring it out today and has shown that he is still very prolific on the character. And I was interested, you know, there could have been a conversation at one point in time of, do we take a Cassie here? Cassie has been another character that Shades has brought into this tournament and done well with, but again, I like the Eevee pick here, especially simply due to the fact that Shaolin is going to have a lot of room to work with, and a lot of those closed areas will result in really a very much easier time to confirm damage from Eevee's Ice Staff.
Eevee looking for the kills on the Victor and Shaolin, those two backliners, but if they're communicating and watching out for each other, it could be, you know, a very difficult task for her to pull off, because this is one of those games, I think, where she's going to be largely alone. It's difficult for Drogos and for Lex to kind of break off away from the healer and try and do their thing. So Shady, he's comfortable operating on his own, but he's going to have to hopefully rely on some of the poke coming from Lex and Drogos to drive home some of these kills. Yeah,
the big thing I think for Eevee as you look at this matchup is I think Shades really needs to be patient in this aspect if he wants a confirmed opportunity, simply because Drogos has a really good poke using Spitfire, Salvo, and of course just direct hits are so absolutely monumental. But on top of that, if you can get a successful Makoa pick, then you're in a 5-on-4 situation if you get the kill, and that is an absolute feast for Eevee.
That's exactly what she's going to be looking to do. Victor here, likely to be played by Joelz, trying to take out Bitey's Drogos, and that's going to be, I think, Shady's window to get in there and start mixing it up. Once the fire has been drawn to the frontline damage characters, like the Victor, like the Shaolin, trying to take out these Lex and these Drogos. I don't know primarily who stolzey's going to be after. I mean, the Bomb King, it's a decent answer, especially off the back of a Dredge Anchor, because Wiffle's going to be likely going into half shell here, so he's not going to have the burst damage on his own to be able to take out a character as tanky and as dangerous as Bomb King.
To be completely honest, I wouldn't be surprised if they just keep stolzey close by the point. I mean, Barrack is a target that could be taken down, and on top of that, if you can get Cauterize applied to Ying and continue to poke at her, you know, taking one or the other of those two down will really open the door for Team Eager to get fully on aggressive for essentially free, or at least a lot safer than normal. The big problem, because if you allow the illusions and the turrets to get set up, all those deployables, is going to make it that much tougher for Eager to really continue a longer fight on top of that neutral capture point.
So still, I think probably the best opportunity today for a big execution, the law to be dropped onto Kanga Esports because, you know, Bomb King, it's very notable when his movement skill is down, whereas with Draw, not so much the case, but a lot of setup potential here with the Eevee and a lot of long lines of sight on Fish Market to be able to pull this one off. Line of sight is pretty much the biggest limiting factor for the law to be able to pull it off. Obviously, deployable shields like Barrack, but with only one on their side, it's going to be easy for stolzey to keep track of and be able to know when it's off rotation. You
know, for as much as is on the line between both of these teams, there's a lot of laughing going on both sides. It's really interesting to see because this is going to be the most determinant competitive.
But not from Awry.
Not from Awry, never.
Full grumpy cat.
Yeah. He's absolutely in it to win it, without a doubt. I mean, he's been here before. He's felt the pain. Doesn't want to repeat that. But it's interesting to see that this match determines who the top two are out of Group A, and D69, of course, has already won the day with the #1 seed. But this is a big moment, and it comes down to just a single map on a map that neither team really has all that much experience on when it comes to competitive play, especially Team Eager. We have very rarely seen either of the Enchanted Forest map sets being played in the qualifiers. So there's a lot on the line here.
That's just what it is. Who can adapt on the fly? I see Kronicx and half of DiGeDoG on the stream right now. All of Team Eager getting ready to go for the last game of the day. I can't believe it's finally here. Our big, beautiful admin Cooper there in the back. It's been a long day for all of us here at Hi-Rez. We just want to take this time to thank you guys for sticking with us throughout all of these issues. We appreciate you. We love our esports fan. We love this scene. We're loving to see it grow, but the time is now, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 5 between Team Eager and Kanga Esports on Fish Market.
Do or die time. And for Kanga, the blue rocking the blue, joshkent will be on Ging with Lifelike. Joelz will again be on that Victor with Gunnery, and it will be Accelerant for the Poppy Bomb for Bomb King on DiGeDoG. Recurve for Kronicx Shaolin, and Haydz will be going with Architectonics.
Whiffle Half Shell for his Makoa stolzey. Death Hastens for the Lex. Wormjets for Bitey's Drogos. Wormhole for ShadeeyShades. Eevee. Spirits Chosen for Awry's Maldamba. Immediately heading to the point, but not onto it. Haydz wants to play this one slow. They know how much it means. Kronicx finds first blood onto ShadeeyShades Eevee, and now this gives Kanga the opportunity to go and get this Barrack set up.
And it puts Eager in a really awkward spot. They were looking for that flank where Eevee could pull one side and the rest of the team could do the other, and with Kronicx immediately eliminating off Eevee, Eager has to completely back up and find a way to re-attack this, and this has resulted in a lot of free presence and a lot of free capture percentage for Kanga, above 66%.
So much pressure coming through from the Bomb King here. They are not letting up. Kanga foot firmly on the gas pedal right now. stolzey poked out extremely low, 84, 87%, now north of 90. Eager with another missed hook. How are they going to work their way in here?
The big problem is the fact that they're taking a lot of splash damage. At the same point, they're forcing themselves here. Bitey already very low, does catch a Mending Spirits, but it's not enough as Joelz is able to hit the grenade once again at 99%, and overtime, the numbers still favor Kanga, who look absolutely dominating so far. Again, it all starts with that first pick on Eevee.
Stunned out DiGeDoG does take a ride with his final breath. Awry able to stun out DiGeDoG, giving it the opportunity for ShadeeyShades to take him out, but first payload cause going the way of Kanga Esports. 2 minutes remain to try and find conversion on Fish Market.
And this is probably one of the hardest points. That's with finally getting through that hill. If they can get this pier for free and continue to move across this whole Riverwalk area to get towards that hill, it'd be really big. But stolzey has something to say about that as he finds himself 2 kills, looks for more, finds himself a 3rd. Can he find 4? He's chasing down this last target, but Bomb King is able to Poppy Bomb away. ShadeeyShades find the 4th of the 5 possible kills, and now Eager getting aggressive.
stolzey with another one. ShadeeyShades blinks in and finds another kill on the joshkent. Kanga Esports now forced all the way back into their spawn despite being on offense. 1 minute and 38 remains in round number 1 to try and get this payload push off the ground, but Eager are not going down without a fight.
Without a doubt, and this is a very interesting spot to be set up simply because, again, there are opportunities for people like DiGeDoG to jump up and around and find kills, looking for a second, but Awry able to shut down thanks to some help from the Gourd and, of course, the auto attacks. So 1 for 1 after all is said and done. And with 1 minute and 13 seconds left, again, the payload is continuing to inch its way backwards slowly.
Great job reading the wormhole there. Bitey actually loses track of Joelz and is able to find the angle and take out the greedy dragon. Shady blinks in, blinks out on a 5 streak right now, looking for a kill. Has the Ice Storm available to him. Gonna hold the trigger on that one. 57 seconds remain, so under a minute for Kanga to try and find conversion.
And this is an opportunity that Eager has to be very careful and really pick and choose their fights. And again, you don't want to be poked out right at this last bit. You want to be able to hold up this last bit of high ground on the hill, continue to find damage with Bitey. He needs to be able to get up in the air and find some big Spitfires to continue to find Kanga a little bit lower on health than they would like to be.
Dragon Punch ready to go. It's gonna be wound up here, actually. Gonna eat the damage from the Grumpy Bomb, but go over the top, over the roof, and DiGeDoG takes Bitey out of the air, so a big ultimate not gonna hit the mark for Team Eager. Will not get the refund. DiGeDoG rolling in on the King Bomb, gonna stick a bunch to Whiffle and take him out.
This is a really big opportunity. Again, that was the key. Eager had to set up their defense. There's plenty of time. All 5 blue players are here, and with the zone being provided with the noble cause of DiGeDoG the Martyr, able to find his team the space and get them that 2-0. A big and a great start for Kanga.
So take us through some of the items here, as we know that extra 300 credits for Kanga Esports capturing that first payload is going to pay off big.
And double cauterizes for 2 different characters. We also have some blast shields online and a double wrecker for DiGeDoG. And on the flip side, actually some pretty decent itemization coming out. We do have a couple of double cauterizes and Bitey with a double wrecker. So they're able to at least at some point go toe for toe with the big itemizations in the offensive category. The big problem becomes there are 2 master ridings up for the side of Kanga, which is going to allow them to get into the positions they want to be faster.
So items being led by Kanga Esports, but the ultimate charge being led by Eager. We'll have to see which has a bigger impact on this point fight. Kronicx, one of the sole members of Kanga with that ultimate available to him, gets hooked off the high ground and taken out immediately. So first blood goes to Eager. Joelz looking for some damage onto stolzey. Won't find much there. Shady blinks onto the high ground. Joelz still trying to put pressure, boxing out with stolzey, unafraid to do so, but stolzey's getting the better of this trade. He's going to come out on top.
And he's got the execution and could possibly come from behind to find that if he needs to, and looking to help his Makoa stay alive, and able to also use Fortitude to get some health back as he slides back onto his side of the map, looking for the Bomb King. But my goodness, that slide and the execution from both Kronicx and DiGeDoG together, just too much damage to deal with.
When is the ultimate going to come out? I feel like we have not seen the law dropped in over 3 games now. It feels like 31% on the point for Team Eager, 33 and climbing. So Kanga back in the driver's seat here as the team fight starts to break out. The respawns for Eager. Hooked in is Haydz, but he'll be able to get himself back to safety for the time being. No Impale coming out just yet. Heat Haze still on the table, trading out kills, Joelz and ShadeeyShades.
But in the Heat Haze is Kronicx looking for damage, but ShadeeyShades continues to find pressure just before dropping. He's able to find 1 kill for himself, and this point is very hotly contested, still sitting at 54 and 74% evenly, pretty much between both. Eager is able to get right back on with that health shield, but here it is. The Bomb King ult does come in to help get Kanga back on tune, and with 3 total kills coming out, they do have the numbers, but can they secure the points?
Joelz boxing out with ShadeeyShades once again, lands the grenades to the bonus damage. It's going to be good. Great snapshot out of Soar, but taken out by DiGeDoG. 300 HP, the last man standing after that bloodbath. Eager with 99% on the point, looking for the overtime, looking for the take back, looking for the inch they need to get on the board.
That was absolutely a kill that DiGeDoG needed. It's going to be contested at a 5-on-4 in favor of Eager. Wi-Fi with a big pull. They're able to take down the healer as well, and with Kronicx being one of the last left alive with Haydz, it is Eager coming back in this in overtime. 99 to 90, they find themselves right here, get themselves a point on the board, and will now look to make this possibly an even game in the scoreboard.
But not out. The boys in blue take payload in round number 2, looking for conversion here to tie things up. Sitting at 2-1, Kanga Esports can still benefit from the defending point. Cute Grumpy Bomb there. That's Matt Practice right there.
He's big brother, always watching over you.
Couple of ultimates here. ShadeeyShades sitting on the Ice Storm. stolzey falling very low. Will go down to DiGeDoG. 1 more shot to find the Bomb King, but it won't be good. ShadeeyShades on his 2 streak. Gonna have to be content with that for now.
Oh, that's trouble. He blinked right into 2 turrets, plus a couple of members did Shady, so does fall as well as Bitey, and now Eager has to back up. If they find the Makoa, Kanga will be in a position to continue to push this. They do find a kill and looking to get more possibly out of the Maldamba, but they don't want to chase too far as there are a couple of respawns coming in, and this is good. They find their advantage, they hold their ground, and they can set up their defense more successfully. 3-1 would be a much nicer scoreboard to look at rather than 2-2.
ShadeeyShades moving out, trying to find some poke. We'll find 1 shot On to Haydz, sitting at about half health now, getting lower and lower. The Cauterize 3 starting to do work here. Haydz needing to fall all the way out of this engagement. Bitey extremely low, however, is going to need to get that out of combat regen as well as a Mending Spirit. There's a nice hook from Wi-Fi. Kronicx withdraws, but the stealth's going to expire. Bitey's got a great angle on this fight, but it's taken out by DiGeDoG. Now with a double kill, looking for more. stolzey answers back into pursuit, but it's not going to be enough. Challenging Makoa is not your wisest option, and you will fall for it, DiGeDoG.
Yeah, but unfortunately, nobody else that can do damage was even still around for Team Eager. But another nice pull from Wi-Fi. He's being able to, by himself, find these opportunities to keep his team in. Bitey also falling, though, looking to get aggressive on what was an outpushed and just outpositioned Barrack, but his team was there, was Haydz' team for Kanga, so able to, again, set back up. 30 seconds left on the clock. The payload just kind of idling around the corner, looking to possibly make this final push. Eager would desperately love to have that one, as again, they have shown some resilience, but still, Kanga has had a very big advantage, I would say, just generally on this map thus far.
Hooked in, almost off the map. Haydz will stay alive for now, trying to get the read on him. Bitey will connect with the rocket. Does have the Dragon Punch available to him. Eager in a spot to really drive this one home, but so clumped up. Can they punish it? 3 picks now for Eager. Into overtime we go, but Eager with all the momentum to drive it home.
Uh-oh, this is a bad spot for Ying. No dimensional link until just then, but still not enough to keep him continuing moving around as Ying continues to find issues. The Ice Storm right in front of the spawn. A big opportunity for Shades to zone everything out. Overtime is in effect. We could possibly see it. There is a Dread Serpent as well. Wi-Fi still alive, looking for more, and Eager find their way in. They bust down the door, and they able to tie things up 2-2.
Still sitting on this ultimate for 3 games straight. stolzey waiting for the absolute perfect moment to pull it out. Take us through the items.
I mean, the big thing when you look at this itemization again comes down to look how much investment's going into master routing. Both teams understanding that this mobility is absolutely huge at the beginning and of course as they get staggered. On top of that, you're seeing all of the offensive itemization essentially get to full. A number of level 3s coming out, and actually not as many as I had thought. It was just stolzey's Cauterize 3 able to be invested in as everybody else is going into some utility, but still level 2s across the board for all the other Cauterizes and Wreckers on the table.
So even the master riding starting to make a difference as Eager just reinforcing their point fight that much quicker. stolzey on a 7 streak rolling out. Lex, the lawman, looking to bring justice to the criminals from down under.
He needs to find a kill with it. Like, even if it's one person, you need to be able to get that instant delete. It's so big to be in a 5-on-4. It does, at this point, it doesn't even matter who he hits with it. He needs to get a kill with it.
Poked out very low, out of position. DiGeDoG able to capitalize on that one. DiGeDoG now with 2, still sitting on the dome shield. Kanga, 30% on the point and winning the fight. So in a really, really good spot here. DiGeDoG play this one safe. Joelz raging forward now with full HP. Does take out Awry. Nice hook from Wi-Fi. Is going to find a key pick up. Able to get the separation. DiGeDoG with 100 health. stolzey comes blazing around the corner and finds the kill.
An opportunity now with DiGeDoG off the table to move this in front and get this back into Eager's control. Haydz is still alive. He does drop the dome shield, but very low. So committing to getting inside the shield and taking him out was the rest of Eager. And so no dome shield really used for really any value whatsoever. Now Eager, who's in control, looks to finally chase out some of these kills as they get to above 40%.
93%, so the smallest window could result in the payload converted and captured for Kanga Esports. ShadeeyShades with 1. Here comes the Dragon Punch getting wound up, but so much damage from DiGeDoG. Spot out the wind-up. stolzey, the last hope for Eager. The Law still online, looking for the final shot. There it is, the Law's drop, but it won't connect. After all that waiting, 72% for Eager. Starting to win this fight. DiGeDoG so low, but Kronicx able to take him out from the point. Ancient Rage is ready.
There it is.
Challenge Makoa. Will they be punished for it? Cleaving his way through 10,000 HP, looking like nothing.
Oh my goodness, he melted so quickly. It was an absolutely great proc of the ultimate, but it will be Kanga. Oh no, I hold out thought as ShadeeyShades is still here, able to blink on and try to keep this overtime alive, but I don't think anybody else wearing red can get there. So an interesting, cheeky idea, but overtime, again, procking through. Will Eager give this a shot? They will not quite get there in time.
Beautiful Awry tried there to cut the overtime short from Kronicx on a 9 streak. Shaolin trying to keep the dream alive for the Thunder down under. DiGeDoG actually taking a pretty aggressive Poppy Bomb after picking Bitey, goes over the houses here, looking for another kill. Can he find it? The shell ship comes down. Diggy stays alive. Kronicx comes through, cleans up the kill, and ShadeeyShades actually dies in pursuit of the Bomb King.
My goodness, that was an absolutely by the little hairs on your chinny chin for DiGeDoG.
That's big, though.
That's a huge pickup, able to, again, it doesn't result in necessarily a win right now, but the big key is there's time coming off the board, but all of it is payload conversion at the moment. Another huge pick. There will be an Ice Storm sitting in front, but no ShadeeyShades. The Dread Serpent also coming out for Eager as Awry looks to help his team find some kind of an advantage, but again, no damage here, Nick.
They're getting absolutely nothing for these huge ultimates. Here comes the King Bomb. Give your king a big hug. DiGeDoG coming around the corner. No Ancient Rage available. 2 kills for the Bomb King already. Josh can't find ones. DiGeDoG looking for one more. But that is all she wrote. Australia stays alive and sends home one of the North American favorites.
Again, 2 in a row, and this time through Oceania coming out representing, using DiGeDoG on this Bomb King has been absolutely key and clutch in what they've been able to bring to the table. They will move on to Sunday as the #2 seed from Group A, and you can see it. Eager, even though there's smiles, you know that Bitey's hurting a little bit again, finding the same result here as he did at HRX.
Really tough loss there for the guys of Eager after playing so well, especially Wi-Fi there on his playing his tanks just lights out. Bitey still all smiles, great sportsmanship. These guys at the end of the day are friends.
Oh, without a doubt, and it's been a hard-fought day, especially for those two teams. They found themselves in extended series past the normal 3-0 that we kind of saw a couple of other teams fall to early on, not only here but also at HRX. So finding some longevity, and that really says a lot for the experience built again for Eager. You know, I think a lot of people will look at Eager and say it's a shame. Again, they played really good sets with Kanga. They were so close but not able to get there, but still I think they've really established themselves as still being a major contender, especially against Kanga, who has done a very good job against top teams previously, and able to take them to another full 5-man set or 5-game set is really big for Eager.
Absolutely, and just setting that precedent that they are here to play. You know, we're all smiles, all laughs at the end of the day, but Eager trying to find the win out of the group stages. It's gonna hurt, it's gonna sting a little bit being sent home after just day 1.
Yeah, and looking back at what else has happened today, again, we saw 4 teams competing. District 69 found themselves their first 2 wins, which advanced them to as the semifinals as seed #1 from Group A. The Brazilian team and Cube team was able to take a point, and Team Eager in the losers bracket after falling 3-0 to District 69. But again, the story continues to be this quasi-rivalry between Kanga and Team Eager at LAN. There's been 3 straight matches, and really all of the games we saw today were really close between both teams, and Kanga will be eventually, and now will be, our #2 seed going into Sunday. But Group B, Nick, we have coming up tomorrow.
That's going to be it for Group number A. As you can see, a little bit more complicated here in Group B, as this where the wild card will be played in. This is the first matchup of tomorrow. WASD Sports, formerly known as the Interlopers, versus Team AGG to determine the final spot. In Group number B, Carbon 6 will be taking on Nocturnes Gaming, and Astral Authority will square off against the winner of the wildcard matchup.
And that's really big. You know, Astral Authority is a lot of the, you know, kind of has the attention coming in. It's taking some of the best from Match Point.
Question marks.
Yeah, or question marks. Yeah, right? Because we're not really 100% sure how they'll fare internationally. They've been able to hold the edge in North America, especially against Team AGG, but still, they're going to be getting some very interesting competition over the next day. Nocturnes Gaming, again, a squad that we saw from Latin America at HRX. Hecate's back with his amigos, and they're looking a lot better than they had previously.
Very, very scary team out of Lat. I mean, we almost saw LatAm knock out somebody already today, and definitely the favorite in that region is Nocturnes. I'm very excited to see these lineups here. New guys, new faces. I Drop Bodies and Evil Eye, completely new to LAN, so a lot of question marks surrounding their performances as well. We do have that Burrito Shaolin skin, of course, available to you. You can purchase this. This was kind of in honor of Burrito winning the HRX Invitational there. Bonker had that stellar performance on it in game number 7.
Yeah, but on top of that, you know, we have this coming up, but if you're feeling inspired, you can jump in game. I think we have double XP also happening.
2 XP?
2, just 2 single points.
You log in, you're going to get 2 whole experience points from April 7th to April 9th.
Don't troll them too hard, bud. Don't troll them too hard. It is double XP, so go into game, get your inspiration on, go play some more Eevee. That's going to be back. I'm expecting to see it.
Yeah, especially with that Kinessa event going on, you know, they're always going to have a nice Kinessa to farm up for Eevee. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Day number 1 of the Masters LAN has now concluded. We will see you back here 11 a.m. EDT sharp on both Hi-Rez TV and Paladins Game. Sleep well as the action resumes again tomorrow.